It ain't about fame, it ain't about fake friends. And screw your ex, is such a flake. Forget your grades, you need a break. It's all about you, no matter what the others say. But now I'm done talking, the lights on me. I tell you, I guarantee this night's about to take a turn for the better. Now the rain is pouring and all I see is lightning around my feet. Now nothing can bring me down. I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance.
Do you really want it?
I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance. It ain't about money, it ain't about the coolest job. It's about having fun and love the ones that makes you shine. It's all about you, no matter what the others say. But now I'm done talking, the lights on me. I tell you, I guarantee this night's about to take a turn for the better. Now the rain is pouring and all I see is lightning around my feet. Now nothing can bring me down. I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance.
You bet. You bet. Mike, are you audio wise back with us there along with Miss Ruby?
Is muted on OBS's side. Now it's not muted. Okay, one more time. Pitchy Star, Cat Morpheus, Dewan, Windy, Fire, sports fan. Andrew, hope you're doing well. Apologies, my mic was muted on OBS's side. But yes, welcome to the third installment of the virtual flight deck podcast. We got Andrew from the good old Seattle Art CC. It's Portland Tower, as you know him, down from Vatsim. We got Owls, Major Mark, CST Gaming, and the man, the myth, the legend himself, Captain Jack Flight Sim. Hope you guys are doing well. And for those that don't know me, my name is Mickety Mike. Welcome. Hope you guys are enjoying. I'll let Jack go through the rest of his stuff. We got a lot to talk about today. So
Yeah, we're gonna cover a lot of subjects tonight, and of course, you guys in the chat, both in mine and Mickety Mike's, Floaty Tony, Cap Zimp, and the Captain Jack chat here at the moment. Please feel free to drop questions in there. We do have a special participation subject for you guys to really weigh in on and let us know what's going on and what you think about that particular subject. So let's go around the horn here real quick. We'll go back up to CST, and CST, tell us a little bit about what you're doing in your streams these days. Anything special you've got going on? Any new sponsors that you want to recognize? Welcome, and let us know what you got there.
Well, no, I don't have any new sponsors. We got some affiliations, new affiliations. Recent is Toby Eye Tracker, and that's the most recent one, really. Other than that, I just keep doing what we're doing, man. Share the love and passion for flight simulation. Eagerly awaiting new aircraft. Very excited for Flight Sim 2024 and everything that it has to offer. So that's what we got going on right now. Yeah, the usual, nothing really really different. But yeah, it's been a great journey so far, and um looking forward to what the future has to hold as far as flight simulation is concerned and the channel and everything else. So very excited.
Yeah, very excited about hearing all of the new stuff you've got going on. I'll tell you, I really have been excited to see your setup. I've been so happy to get to see how you're laid out there, the new equipment that you're trying out, everything that you guys do to try to showcase some of the new and upcoming stuff. Owls, how about you, man? What's going on in your world these days? How's Owls doing out there? It looks like you weathered the storm out there in a. Oh, do you need a minute?
Yeah, come right back to me. I had bad timing.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, well, Mike, I'll go to you next
All
because
right.
never bad timing for Mickety Mike, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, guys, appreciate you guys being here. Got a couple more people funneling into the chat. We got Dom. Is that my dad, Mark? I guess so. Yeah, sure. Yes, we do have Major Mark joining us tonight. New to the YouTube scene, new to the streaming scene. We're excited to talk to him about his life experiences and stuff like that. And a massive salute to him and a shout out to him for his service to our country. Thank you so much. Same to CST Gaming. Captain Zemp has got a question for us. We'll get to that, Zemp. I promise you I will pin that in the chat for us. We got Kevin47, my guy. Hope you're doing well. And Kills My Skills, the legendary moderator himself. Skills, hope you're doing well. And the legend of Mickety Mike thumbnails, if you do. What's up? Mamba's in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Mamba. But welcome, guys. Y'all know me. Nothing really too new on the channel over here. As you guys see, we've been kind of diving into kind of some new stuff, kind of taking a little bit of a not a break, but kind of getting away from the flight sim scene right now, as it's turned a little bit stale in my opinion, and just playing some other games. Obviously I got my racing set up, and you know, I've been getting wildly addicted to American Truck Sim the last couple of days, so American Truck Sim is definitely going to be a thing on the channel here soon. But yeah, man, we're just doing our own thing here for the third installment of the virtual flight deck. Welcome, welcome. We got Jake in the house. What's going on, Jake? Hope you're doing well, Jake. Very good friend of mine. Welcome, welcome. And it looks like we just got Mr. Fly with Lotto, the legend himself. Congratulations, Mr. Lotto, for 500,000 followers on Instagram, my guy. My man, brother. 500,000 followers on Instagram, man. His content is phenomenal. If you do not know Fly with Lotto, better head your ass over to Instagram and drop him a follow right meow, por favor. Appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, guys, we got a lot to talk about tonight. As you can see, we have a massive panel tonight, so we're gonna do our best to keep our responses as short as possible, because myself, I can get winded pretty. I can go very lengthy in my responses, but do appreciate everybody joining in today. Welcome, guys, to the podcast. Good old Owls and CST, and you know, the typical others. You know, like as I said, we got Andrew from good old Portland Tower over from the Seattle RTC with Vatsim. If you got questions about Vatsim, please feel free to ask them in the chat, guys. We are open book here, so if you have any questions that you want answered, anything like that, please feel free to drop them in the chat, either mine or myself over at over at Captain Jack. God, if I could speak English, over at Captain Jack's channel. Drop them in his chat, and we'll get to them as best we can today. And make sure you smash down a thumbs up button on both of the streams. Would greatly appreciate that. And make sure you go and drop a follow and a sub over to Captain Jack, and we'll get right into it, man.
All right, very good. Well, Owls, hopefully this is a good time now. Let me come back. Sorry about that, man. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Had a busy day. So for everybody that's wondering why I didn't stream, it's a busy day, but I'm doing great. Very fun aviation packed day.
All right. Well, we're going to want to hear about that at length here in just a little bit. So, Owls, thanks, man. All right, let me bring Major Mark up. Mark, welcome to the stream. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, since you're kind of new in here. You've just started streaming, I understand, and tell us all about Major Mark.
Hey, appreciate it. Major Mark, how you doing? Flight Sim is the game. Major Mark is the game name.
That's what I should have said.
I've been a flight sim enthusiast since the early, I think I started flight sim like 2000. Been flying offline in the background on a lot of people's streams here over the years. Decided, hey, now's my chance and time to actually do it for myself. So just started streaming about 5 streams in. I think the latest was the FedEx flight out to LAX, and then before that was my favorite Ching Chong. If you know, you know. But
Air China.
Air China. Yep. So active duty military army, 15 years now. Currently in the Virginia area, not too far from Owls, and I'm here.
Thank you for your service. We really
Thank
appreciate
you for your support.
I tell you, you know, that's another thing. That's something that I had a real revelation earlier this week too. I want to share with you guys. I was able to attend a military honors funeral for a veteran here in town. One of our Christian Motorcycle Association members passed away, and I was just struck by the honor and the loyalty and the protocol and just absolutely the dedication that people in the military give to that service, to their lives, to everything that is involved with that, and just the deepness and the profoundness of the honors that they gave this gentleman. I mean, a full 21 gun salute, a full playing of taps, the honor guard, the ringing of the bell, as he was a Navy man, and he was buried at our Fort Logan National Cemetery here in the Denver area. And I got to tell you, and this is kind of a sidebar issue, but I think it ought to be mandatory in schools that kids have to watch Saving Private Ryan, Wind Talkers, and Tora 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 to kind of get a grasp of what and then show these sweeping views of all the graves at a military cemetery. I don't think we have an appreciation for what you guys in the military do in what those before us have done. And I'd like to hear some of your comments, especially CST, you and Mark being in the military, but some of, like for instance, Al's is probably the youngest among us. And I'd like to know some of his thoughts on that. So let's touch on that for just a minute. Not kind of off the beaten path as far as the subject, but CST, what do you think? I would really like to hear some of your thoughts on that.
Well, that kind of comes along with military service, right? You build a bond, a brotherhood. You build almost like a family, right? If I can speaking for myself, for example, I was touching about this during my stream with some people who started talking about military and chief season, chief initiation when it goes in the Navy, because that's one thing that only happens in the Navy, right? That out of all the branches of military, the Navy, the transition between the pay grade of E6 to E7 is a big deal, right? So there's an all-out 6 weeks of initiation process, and during that initiation process, you get tested, you get tried, you get accepted by the chief's mess, and that bond that you build during that process and all the years that come after that is just that much stronger. So, I have people that I have served with from, decades ago, and I still talk to this day. And if I was to, you know, make a phone call and say, hey, I need your help with this, that'd probably be at my doorstep in, less than 2 hours, right? So they will figure out how to do it, and they'll be here to try and help me out in whatever way possible. So when it comes to saying, as far as rendering the utmost honorable service, um, it's just something that goes along with that, right? It is uh, the guy deserved every bit of it, right? Um, so we show up and we put up, and then that's how it is. If a fellow brother of a Chiefs pass was to pass tomorrow, this is how strong the bond is in the chief mess itself when it comes to the Navy, right? If a fellow chief was to pass tomorrow, and I get told, hey, this fellow chief, so on and so forth, passed, we're doing something, we're doing the ceremony tomorrow or whatnot. It Even if I never met the guy, I would probably not probably I would don my uniform and I would show up to the service to render that fellow brother and a chief the proper honors. So it's a huge bond, right? And I don't think it can be compared to anything else, right? It's almost like an extended family that you build throughout your career. Um, so that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. That's wonderful. I'm going to go to Major Mark since he's. Is anybody else a military member in this
My
in the
entire
family?
family's military.
Okay, okay. Well,
So
then,
I
Andrew, I'm
grew
going
in
to
the
come to
military.
you right after we go to Mark. And again, that respect and honor, and that's going to lead into another subject we'll talk about in just a few minutes. But I don't think today's generation really has an appreciation of what people have done for them, so we can sit here and play these. Or use our simulators and do what we can do in the freedom that we get to do it in. Mark, what's your take on that?
Yeah, just kind of echoing what CST said. You know, freedom isn't free. Somebody pays the ultimate cost. Um, and what better way to do it, than honoring those that actually gave that ultimate sacrifice, whether it was in combat or after combat. We in the military, like CST stated, we're going to be there for our brothers and sisters in arms, no matter what. Um, I've actually served on a couple of funeral details, and I was stationed down in Texas. And I tell you what, the motorcycle clubs and everybody else shows up along with the military, and those things are quite emotional to be at. But kudos to the Denver area, the Denver Veterans Association there to make sure that that guy got properly treated well on his way to his final resting place, to make sure that he had a hero's welcome home. But that
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew. Okay, we'll come to you, Andrew. Of course, with Vatsim, he does a lot of Portland controlling. We've had a lot of fun flying in and out of Portland in a couple of my streams with Andrew. But Andrew, you say you come from a military family. Do you feel like our younger generations these days really understand and appreciate what our military people have done before?
Um, in a short answer, no. I mean, I uh have lived in 5 different states and 2 different countries, and I'm only 17. So seeing how the military is such a bond with each other, and seeing the things that they go through behind the scenes of what the general public doesn't see in the military, it's a very what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but CST and Mark definitely know like kind of what I'm talking about, I would think. Like the things that service members go through outside, like the things that come along with serving in combat and things like that. I mean the mental health struggles you can get out of that, just seeing it firsthand. It's people just don't have the respect that I think they should for the people that serve our nation. But that's kind of my 2 cents on it. And so with law enforcement, because my dad's ex-military, he's law enforcement now, and I see the same things with law enforcement because law enforcement is majority ex-military.
Yeah, yeah. Well, once again, kind of a sidebar subject there, but no, I agree. I don't think our generations today understand the sacrifice, the pain, and the literal torture in some cases that some of our military people who have gone before us, and there are hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not millions. And so, once again, you guys in the military, salute indeed. And thank you. Thank you for all you've done. All right, let's get into a little bit of flight sim stuff here. One of the things that I thought was important that we tried to do as well is to help the community understand how to maybe solve some problems. Mike, you and CST are great teachers. Al's, you as well. As I've said many times before, I, got through surgeries and a lot of a lot of downtime last year watching you guys and learning, and it really excited me about flight simulation. Mike, I'd like for you to talk just a little bit about some of your favorite software, some of the things that you've learned, some of the ways that you've learned to make your software interact and work. You've been doing the new WinWings flight stick. I know you and CST and ALS have been showcasing those. The WinWings FCU is out. Tell us a little bit about some of your experiences with some of the new hardware that you guys learned about at Expo.
Well, I mean, as I said a little bit earlier today, I've felt that the flight simulation world in and of itself has been a little bit on the stale side for right now with the anticipation of 2024 in the next couple of months. However, with that being said, development companies, whether it be peripheral or software wise, have been unbelievably hard at work. I'm probably in 50 different discords getting updates on different, like Virpil has yokes coming out, Embraer style yoke, a Boeing 737 style yoke. They're not pendular, unfortunately, they're just push and pull. But WinWing with all their stuff, I just got my WinWing FCU a couple of weeks ago. I've used it a few times on stream, as you guys have seen, and I absolutely love it. Just to be able to turn a dial at my desk and make the inputs that I would usually make in the airplane right here at my desk is just awesome. So some of my favorite softwares, I mean, when it comes to Microsoft in and of itself, and I've actually gotten a couple of questions in my chat about this since the start of the podcast, is optimization, right? When I first got into Microsoft, you can ask Alice, you can attest to this, my Microsoft was a disaster, right? Because I was still so much very in the X-Plane mindset of everything being a custom folder and everything loading in via an organizer and this, that, the third. So when I first got into Microsoft, the first couple of months of my streams, it would take 10, 15, 20 minutes for my sim to load because of the amount of add-ons that I was loading in at one time. So Add-on Linker has got to be my absolute favorite software for Microsoft, period. Point blank, period. If you guys are not Add-on Linker users, I highly recommend it. It is a very, very simple software to use. It's very easy to set up. It's just a little bit time consuming for those that don't use it, because I assume your community folder is probably 300 gigs worth of stuff. And it's just a matter of taking your community folder, throwing it into a separate folder, linking that folder to Add-on Linker, and then that will give you the ability to just load in what is that you want into the sim for the one time that you fly. So when I fly on stream, the only thing that I load in is the airplane, whatever mods I'm using, and the airports that I'm flying into for that stream. Everything else is bare bones default. So Add-on Linker is definitely going to be the top of my list, and right behind that is going to be Microsoft Auto FPS. Auto FPS is a phenomenal tool. Highly recommend it. What Auto FPS does is it basically lowers your level of detail, your terrain level of detail at certain altitudes. So that way, when you're at an airport that is relatively high on performance and high fidelity, such as LA, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, JFK, etc., what it does is it lowers your terrain level of detail below 2,000 feet. So that way, it focuses the performance around the airplane in the airport and not all of the buildings around the airport that you're not going to be paying attention to. So highly recommend those two. Those are my top two software programs that I recommend 100% is Add-on Linker and Microsoft Auto FPS. If I were to throw one more in there, just for looks, Rex AccuSeason is something that I thoroughly love. People always ask me why my sim looks the way it does. I use Rex AccuSeason. It changes the ground colors for seasons and this, that, the third. In autumn and fall, it'll change the trees to orange and the yellowish tinge trees and stuff like that. So it's not just all green. So
you need to fly over Aspen or over Colorado because the Aspens are just now. Just amazing. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but Mike, let me ask you this. Add-on Linker versus MSFS add-ons. I've been using MSF. Boy, why is that so hard? Add-ons, and that does essentially the same thing. You can put all your community folder files, as it were, over on another drive, and then have it only pull in what you want to use, what airports you may be flying to and from, like you said, some of the other things. Do you see a difference between those two, or have you run them in contrast at all?
The only difference that I see between the two is the simplicity of activating the add-ons that you want. For me personally, Add-on Linker is very, very simple. All you have to do is load Add-on Linker up, click on whatever it is that you want, or search it in the search bar, find it, and activate it. That's all you have to do, and then it's immediately transferred from your add-ons folder directly into your community folder, so you don't have to drag and drop anything. It's very, very simple, and that's what I love about Add-on Linker is the simplicity. Now, setting it up, like I said, is time-consuming. It is very simple. Alice helped me set mine up, and who else was it? Owls and Chelmo. Huge shout out to Chelmo for helping me out with that. But the simplicity of Add-on Linker is why I enjoy it so much, because all I have to do is load it up. If I'm flying like I was supposed to fly, or yesterday when I flew from Johannesburg down to Dunbar, all I did was type in the airport ICAOs, click the green button, and it's in my community folder, and I launch the sim. Within 30 seconds, you're ready to go.
Yeah, MSFS add-ons works virtually the same way. It sounds like it's more or less the same thing. Al's, what do you think? If I can get your opinion on that, what are you using that you want to tell everybody about? And do you have any comments on Mike's stuff there?
Well, I'd say the main thing to get your simulator optimized is first just use logic. If you get a new computer and you do nothing to make it run well, it's not going to run well. You have to go through, you're going to need to mess around with your settings. Don't just use presets, and just dilly dally and find around, just mess around with different settings and different methods of getting your sim to run how you want it. Like what I would recommend is off of that, he already said it, Mike did. Auto FPS is amazing. I personally don't use it for the frames, but it can be really big on the help. I used to use it when I had my 3070. That's great. A real big thing that a lot of people hear about, but they don't actually know, or what they just don't really ever mess with it, is the NVIDIA control panel. NVIDIA control panels are really, really big. I think that's what Lotto messes with all the time. It's just you could mess and tweak with almost anything graphics card related, even PC related. You can actually do game specific settings as well. So I recommend using the NVIDIA control panel. And what's another one? There's one else that I use, um, other than the add-on linker. I want to say that's about it though. Oh, also changing. I already said that. Never mind. But yeah, usually just add-on linker is great. NVIDIA control panel. They have countless tutorials. I can even help explain if anybody needs help. And just at least messing with your settings. Nothing just comes great out the box. That's what I've been getting a lot of DMs about. It's like I even had some people that have the same specs and like, hey, my game runs at 5 FPS and I'm stuttering every second and I'm using your settings. Why isn't it working? Well, like you could have the same computer and yours just doesn't like one setting. So you change that setting. So it's you gotta at least make an effort to change some stuff around for your liking and your computer's liking.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, man. Yeah, good stuff there. Lotto, it looked like you were nodding and probably have some input here. Tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about some of the software that you'd like to recommend.
I mean, Mike mentioned it, and of course, Al's did as well. I think the number one thing that I focus on the most is the NVIDIA control panel. It's crazy what you can do with that when it comes to, hey, I want the sim to look a little bit clearer. Maybe I want to record something in 4K, even though I run everything in 2K. Now I can upscale it to 4K to be able to not get the graininess on the planes or on the wings. You know what I'm saying? I know I utilize that a lot when it comes to my Instagram content. I think a lot of people are forgetting the frame gen mod when it first came out, especially with the 30 series card like I have. I have a 3070 Ti. That was one of the most like coolest things because now I can fly in JFK with 70 frames, even though it had its issues. But then I started realizing what else can I match with it. And another software that a lot of people don't know about is DLSS Swapper, with basically swapping your DLSS from 2.5 where it's originally at, and now you're swapping it to the 3.3, which is
Medic, my man,
up to
coming in with
date.
a
And
first
what
class
that's
membership.
done
Really do
with the
appreciate
frame
that.
gen
Massive
mod,
W's,
and
buddy.
for
Appreciate
my
it.
case, when I run DX12 now, it's literally running everything so much smoother. It doesn't get the tearing that you normally get on the back end. So for softwares, all of these guys are giving some great recommendations, but also for hardwares, I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna shout out CST here. This is one of my favorites because I'm so sick and tired of like always using my rudders or like this stupid but that's one of my favorites hardwares. And of course the Boeing the Boeing throttle, right, with the knobs, because you can select heading, you can select speed. I know that Wing has that. Unfortunately, I don't have any Wing products. I know they always tell me how much they love my Instagram content. They always message me, but they don't seem to send me anything. But it's all good. I'm not going to be upset about that, right? I'll just keep on waiting until I get
Part
something from them as
two.
well.
Part two.
Hey, by the way, CST, one of them tillers needs to test its way over here at Captain Jack's house too. So
Yeah, same. I'm gonna need one too, man.
Yes, sir.
and with the logo on it. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I got
Sorry
some
for
great
that.
news for you guys. We have
Yeah.
2 tillers raffling off a world flight, so show up.
We're going to
Shout
talk
out
a
to
lot
the Wings for
about
Hope. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about that. And CST, just a side question here: are you going to ever make those things available for sale, or would that just be more overwhelming than your production department could handle?
I never. So I I'm hearing myself coming back. I don't know why, but hey,
It's on Jax.
Yeah, we got you.
okay, we're good. So I never did it to offer as a product, right? I never did it to sell it or anything. If that's what I wanted to do, I would have opened up an Etsy page and all that good stuff, right? That was not the intent. The intent for me initially was to make them help out the community, do some giveaways, and that's how I started that out, right? I started just making them, giving them away at um, doing the streams. Then I've had, I started having people, hey man, I'll pay you. Can I buy one? So okay, well let me see. This is how much every little components are. This is how much PLA goes into it. Okay, I would sell one for this much, right? Like, oh, cool, I'll take three, right? It's like, oh shit, right? So that's the thing, right? It's like, so I did that for a little bit, but again, that wasn't the point of me doing the things, right? So that got and this guy's every single person, maybe beside Shrek. Is your name Shrek? I'm sorry.
Andrew Shrek, one of the two.
Andrew. Besides Andrew, has always heard me saying, once my hobby becomes a job, I get bored of it and I don't want to do it anymore, right? That's why I don't want to turn my flight simming channel into a job. That's why I don't want to turn making tiller as a job, because once it becomes a job, I lose interest and I don't want to do it anymore. Um, and I think that's kind of what happened with the tillers, right? It started becoming a job. People were like, "Oh, I'll buy one. I'll buy one," and I felt obligated to do that for these people, right? So I was doing it. So it got to the point where you know what? I'm done. I'm not doing any more tillers, right? I'm not even gonna. I'm not doing giveaways. I'm not even advertising no more. That I have a couple of tillers left over, whatever. I have 4 of them sitting on the table right now, but I don't know where they're gonna go yet. They haven't found a home. And
Well,
why
and
do I have why do I have 4 of them sitting? Because I have a 3D printer. I was bored one day. I'm like, hey, let me print a tiller. Right. So that's what I did. But if I have somebody screaming down my neck, be like, hey man, is my tiller ready? When am I gonna get it? It's just it's that's not what I want to do with my life, right? So that's why I didn't start a tiller business, right? So that's that piece. Was that a second part of the question? I'm sorry.
no. That's fine. That's fine. The other part and the real part of this particular question is software you're using that you want to recommend. And I've got a really good one that I want to recommend too. But no, that was a question. Go ahead, CST.
So as far as the software is far, I'm the total opposite of anybody here, right? I would say I'm the total opposite of especially Owls. Because Owls uses everything. It doesn't matter what it is, he's using it, right? And I don't blame him. If you like it, use it. But the thing with me, as far as Microsoft Flight Simulator and how you get your sim to run good and all that good stuff, there's great software out there. Don't get me wrong. If you have a 30 series card, like they said, you got the what's it called, the frame gen mod, and you got all these other mods to make to me, all that stuff is great, but all it is a band-aid, right? It's just a band-aid. Do you want great performance? Well, guess what, buddy? You're gonna have to buy a great GPU, right? You're gonna have to buy a great CPU. You're gonna have to spend the money if you want the performance. Otherwise, you can just put a band on it, download the frame gen mod, put a band on it, download the FPS mod, put a band on it. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. But if you want the actual direct performance that you're trying to get out of the sim, you're gonna need the right
Right.
hardware, not software necessarily, right? Because in my case, the less the better. I don't run any mods. I don't mess with any type of control panels, settings. I am the opposite of what I am the opposite of what Al's was saying. You need to go in there, you don't use preset. I got everything bumped up to ultra, dude. I just slide everything up, ultra, everything is ultra. Let's go, right? How do I do that, right? When I was sitting in there with my 4070, before my 4070, my 3060, how do I get to the point where I can set everything on ultra and not have to worry about the small number in the top left corner of my screen that says you only got 5 FPS? well, buddy, you're gonna need top of the notch, top of quality components. So obviously, not everybody can do it. That's why I said if you can do it, put a bandit on it, right? Until you can do it. But I'm fortunate enough to where I am in a position where I can do it. So I picked myself up. You know, my buddy Jamie, Captain Bios. You guys might know him. He's big on computers, and I told him, I said, I want to build a computer. And he says, "Oh, well, what kind of computer you got? What kind of computer do you want?" I said, "I want top of the line shit, top of the line everything." Are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I don't care, dude. So whenever he told me, for example, hey, you can get this motherboard, right? And if you want to upgrade later on, then you can get this one. I'm like, well, then why not just get that one? That way I don't have to upgrade, right? So that was my thought process, right? So I literally got top of the line stuff, right? I got to the point, my computer, there's nothing on my computer right now except for the CPU, which the 14 gen just came out, right? That's the only thing that's upgradable on my computer. Everything else is already at the top, right? So obviously, again, I'm fortunate enough. So the motto for me is the less the better. I use add-on linker, right? I do use that because it's not a software that impacts performance when you run it, right? It is just used to link your add-ons. That's all it is. Do I need it? Probably not. I can just leave everything in my community folder, to be quite honest with you, and gain the same results with the computer that I got. As far as any other software settings, again, I don't mess with control panels. The only thing I do mess with the NVIDIA is the filters, because the color grade on Flight Simulator 2020 is a little dead, if you know what I mean. It's a little pale, so you got to give it a little bit of colors. And I know that a lot of you guys there know what I'm talking about. So there's a filter that you can actually change the way the sim looks as far as color. You can give it more color, more life. You know, the green is more green, the sky is more blue, you know, that type of stuff. And it just makes the sim look that much better. And you'd be surprised what just that would do. That it's as far as looks does a lot already by itself, and it doesn't affect your performance whatsoever. It's just you changing the colors of the sim. And then the only other software that I use that I like, again, does not affect performance one bit, is the Pro Flow from 42, which is literally like, instead of having the menu bar up top on the screen, I have the little wheel that I use that pops up, and I love it. It's not the way, you don't see it. It's when you need it, you pop it up, and that's it. And
Well,
again, as far as additional software, I don't use. My motto is the less the better, because the more crap you throw at the sim, the more performance is going to get impacted. Things like the immersion mods for the planes that all these developers are coming out with, you know, it's just garbage. Don't mess with it, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
Lalo's
again,
agreeing with
if
you.
that's what you like, that's great. But I'm telling you that immersion, it impacts your performance, because it's got to generate that by the way, very unrealistic effect, right? It's got to generate that stuff. So it's taken out from your performance. So anyway, the less the better. That's the way I look at it. The less you do, the better. All I
Yeah,
do is I have top-notch components. I just bump all my crap up and I go, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a 4090 like CST and I what do you have, an i12? What do you got? A 12 gen, a 14 gen?
I have a 13. The 14 just came out, and I'm
Okay.
probably about to go and pick it up. Probably going to
So
pick it
that's
up.
the thing, is if you have those types of components on your
Yeah.
PC, you can run these immersions, right? And be able to, if you like them. But if you have a 2080 or a 30 series card, forget it. You're going to lose 10 frames just there. So if you're trying to put NVIDIA filters on your sim, that's 10 FPS there. Plus, you know, the immersions, that's another 10. So if you're getting 50, you're at 30 now. And in the end, once you get into New York or LA, you're going to be at 15 frames per second. And I do see some streams like that, because everybody is putting all of these, they're trying to stream as well. That's eating another 8 frames right there. You know, I try to stream on Discord. I'm like, guys, I gotta turn off. I gotta turn off.
It's not just that, right? With the immersion mod, for example, it's not just that. If it was done right, hey, kudos to you, man. If it was done right, that's great. But when you get wing trails and wing condensation forming on the wings as you are about to land on the runway, Come on, dude. Seriously? You're gonna get all that at 20 feet? Get out of here, man. It's not
Not all
realistic.
the
It's
time, right? Not all the
it
time. It's
doesn't
got to be special
you
weather. It's got to be, the
I
weather's got to be
mean,
right. All of this stuff.
it's got to be you see what I'm saying? Like when you're taking off, you don't see streaks coming on the wings of the damn airplanes or condensation forming on the wings. That it doesn't happen, right? What they're doing with these mods is they're doing it, but it's always this immersion mod is always applied to any condition. It doesn't count. It doesn't take into effect weather. It doesn't take into effect any type of none of that. It's just an effect that's applied to the surfaces of the aircraft at any given time. So it's very unrealistic, and on top of that, it affects your FPS. So I would say if you already have a system that's struggling and you can afford a 40 series card, a 13 gen CPU, a $500 motherboard, then stay the hell away from all these unnecessary mods that are clogging up your performance.
Okay. Okay. Very good points on that. One thing that I was going to share that I want to show you guys too is the Easy Gamer utility. We all seem to struggle at one time or another with frame rates, and this is once again something that does not take up any resources. It's actually a utility that you run off otherwise and by itself, and it's really important. I learned from one of my flight sim buddies, Scott Hines pilot, who is a former CRJ pilot for SkyWest, and he found this Easy Gamer utility, and it's been very, very impressive, guys, for frame rate. And what you do is you go into the Windows command for well, let's see, where'd my notes go? Let me get back here with that. Disk cleanup, run disk cleanup on your PC as admin. And this is very important, especially to do after a Windows Flight Simulator update or after a Microsoft Flight Simulator update. But delete the DirectX cache and then reboot your machine and then run this free utility. And you'll notice under graphics, we'll change it to graphics and get rid of the half price sale there. By the way, these are not a sponsor of the Captain Jack flight stream at all. It's just a utility that is free, but you go through and you clean the NVIDIA cache files, you clean the DirectX shader, you clean or remove old NVIDIA drivers if you so choose. And I'll tell you what, guys, this has made a huge difference on my system.
Little plug for CST. He's got an amazing one. As soon as I did that DirectX 12, I didn't know anything about this. And as soon as I did it, he has a great video on this. I'm telling you, it was a night and day when it came to stutters, when you're 30 feet before touching, you know what I'm saying? And so like if anybody that's watching, because I know there's a lot of people watching your stream and Mike's stream, you know what I'm saying? If you guys are watching, jump on CSTs. He's got a great tutorial. He actually shows everything and everything's ready to go. And it's in his Discord as well. If you guys need to go step by step, because I followed it and I'm a dummy when it comes to this stuff. And I did it. I'm like, hey, look at that. I did.
I had a stream a couple of weeks ago, Lotto, where I was flying the Denver Broncos aircraft into Seattle. And as I was starting my top of descent, all of a sudden my frame rates crashed, went to like 7, 8, 9, 5. It was, I had to shut everything down and just did, Mike, kind of like you did a landing like you did last night in that stream. Because I had to reboot the whole sim and everything. And since I have started running this particular utility, this Easy Gamer utility, my frame rates are consistently not only above 100, but sometimes as much as 120, 130 even on occasion. And that's going into heavily populated areas. What am I looking for? Intensive use airports, and all that kind of thing. So I have been super impressed with that. So guys, the Easy Gamer utility, you just run it, you reboot your computer, and it should make just major differences in your frame rates. Any further software stuff, guys, you wanna bring up before we move along here?
No, I mean, I think obviously, as CST said, if you can afford the best, get the best. Right. But unfortunately, not everybody's in the best of, situations financially to be able to afford a $2,000 graphics card or a $700 CPU or whatever it might be. I don't even have the best stuff, right? My computer is very much so an average everyday computer, a 4070 with an i7, and it does the job just fine with a couple of mods here and there. You guys watch the streams, you see it. So I think it's entirely up to the preference of the user and what they want versus what they use. But I mean, if you can do it, eventually I want to get to the point where I can just contact somebody and say, "Hey, build me a NASA computer," and I'll be good. But ultimately, guys, I mean, if you can, just get the. Obviously, I agree with CST that hardware is a big thing. Hardware is a big thing when it comes to flight simulation, specifically flight simulation. Now, you can't buy a computer, right? Like a 3070 computer with an i5 or an i7, load up American Truck Sim and get 60, 70 frames per second, and be like, oh, I can run ultra settings on Microsoft and load into Microsoft and JFK and ultra settings and then expect your 10, 15 frames per second. It's easy. I mean, you guys see that even my computer, CST's computer, Owl's computer, we all have issues here and there. It happens. That's the base of technology. It's just issues are going to happen. So, there are tools available for those that cannot get the best of the best, and those are the tools that I've recommended. Owl's recommended, Lotto, so on and so forth. But do appreciate you guys. Pitchy, are you asking the link for Easy Game Utility? I think Easy Gamer Utility. I can grab it for you. Give me one second.
Yeah, we should put those in both chats, guys. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up button on both mine and Mike's channel if you haven't done yet. Had quite a few viewers in there, and as I was saying in CST's chat earlier today, if you get into somebody's channel, hit that smash that thumbs up button. So many people watch, and very few, I think, actually smash that thumbs up button in comparison to what it could be. But that really helps us out, guys. Yeah, all right. Let's talk a little bit, guys, about World Flight and the route and who's doing it and what's going on. So proud of you, Mike, and CST for being part of that crew this year. And Major Mark is here to talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to put the screen up there, the World Flight Route 2024. Mark, I'm going to go ahead and come to you first here with this one. And tell us a little bit about what's going on, who's sponsoring it, what the benefit is, why guys should tune in and watch, and more importantly, donate. So, Mark, your turn.
All right, most definitely. Hey, how you doing? Major Mark here again. We are a part. I'm a part of World Flight. This is my second year on the team here. We've changed our name from the SoCal crew to Wings for Hope this year. Our charity this year will be St. Jude Research Children's Hospital out of Memphis, Tennessee. Near and dear to my heart because one, I'm actually originally from Memphis. I claim Hawaii is home, but Memphis is actually home. We are raising money for cancer research this year. We have pretty much the same team this year. We have CST Gaming coming out this year. We have Mickey Mike coming out this year, as well as a few other Nobel Games and a few others. Captain Canada. Midnight Maverick is we call him the chairman now, internal to the team, but he is the ringleader of our team this year. We have great sponsors this year: Next Level Racing, Orbix, Iron Bills, just to name a few. We're still finalizing a lot of that, but our intent is this year we got about 42 flights this year, and for each flight that we do this year, we will have some type of a raffle for the chat to participate in. So $5 raffle gets you an entry into that leg segment for that raffle for that leg. So for instance, we might have a next level racing chair, $5 for a $700 racing chair that you can enter to potentially win. I think this year we also have Thrustmaster as well that are going to give away some of the TPR rudder pedals that $700, $800 rudder pedals, $5. You can win those rudder pedals for $5 this year. So um, twofold. Your $5 entry is actually helping cancer research, and then in return you might get something that you really want out of your flight sim experience. So it's a worthwhile cause all the way around. This has been going on for about 3 to 4 years now. This year we're actually going to build our own homemade cockpit. We had some issues with the 737 that we had, but this year we're going to build a homemade cockpit. We will be in a 777 this year, PMDG 777. I think we're going to be flying under the United colors this year, but it's going to be a fun experience. There's going to be a lot of other things that we're gonna do inside of the chat while we're flying these legs. Each of these legs are about 2 to 3 hours this year, but it's gonna be fun all the way around. Looking forward to it. Like I said, it's my second year on the team, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're super excited about that. I know that Mike and CST have been excited about it and getting more excited. Mike, do you have some thoughts you can tell us about with that?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's a fantastic cause. Just a bunch of flight sim nerds can get together and raise money for an awesome cause. It's definitely something that I was not expecting to be able to be a part of anytime soon. Never in a million years that I think that I'd be going down to Southern California with a bunch of huge content creators and sponsors and stuff like that, just flying around the world for a good cause for the St. Jude's Research Hospital and all that stuff. But all in all, as much as the community is going to give for this event, we're giving back to it as well with the raffle tickets and stuff like that. Mamba said, Mark, can you buy more than one raffle ticket? If I'm not mistaken, that's yes, but I could be mistaken.
Yes, you can. So for each entry, you get for each $5 entry that you put into that chat during that leg segment, your name goes in twice. So the more times you participate in that leg segment, the more entries you get into that leg segment.
Yeah. And guys, just to preface, these are no BS raffles that we're doing. We got a lot of big sponsors coming out this year. I know Thrustmaster's in the game this year as well, where a set of pendular rudder pedals are going to be raffled off during this event, right? So a $600 pair of rudder pedals are going to be raffled off to one of you lucky guys for a $5 entry, right? So it's going to be an awesome event. This is my first year doing it. I got to sit, actually, huge shout out to Mark himself, Marcus, who put in a good word for me with the Wings for Hope crew and sat in on my interview with Captain Canada and Midnight Maverick. It was just awesome sitting and talking about the event, all that kind of stuff, and just being in the position that I'm in to be able to go down and fulfill this kind of dream for me, and let alone on top of that be able to put some sort of giveaway or give back to the St. Jude's Children's Hospital is just phenomenal, man. I've got I don't necessarily have a direct link to St. Jude, but I've had family members that have had scares and have gone through the cancer research and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely something that can sit close to home for me circumstantially, and it's something that I'm very, very excited to be. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there the whole event. Unfortunately, work just will not allow me to do that. So I'm only going to be there for 4 days. I'm going to be going down the 6th. I'm sorry, 3 days. I'm going to be there through the 6th through the 9th. And,
only at World Flight for only 4 days. Just only.
Well, no comment. So, but yeah, it's awesome, man. And we're not the only crew that does it. There are a plethora of other people that are going to be there. If you go to the Wings for, not the Wings for Hope website, but the World Flight website, you can see all the crews that are actively going to be flying during this event. It's going to be massive, man. Thousands of airplanes per day going through these airports, and we're starting in Sydney, Australia, and flying throughout the entire world and ending in Sydney, Australia. It's a 7-day event, 24 hours a day. There's going to be a crew in the cockpit 24 hours of the day. It's going to be streamed on my channel. I'm assuming CST's channel, Mark's channel, Captain Canada, Mavs. It's just there's going to be a ton of fun. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Again, it's November 2nd through November 9th. I personally will be there November 6th through the 9th due to unfortunately work. Hopefully next year I can make some different accommodations and be there the whole week. But make sure you're there. And again, $5 will get you entered in for the potential chance to win a Boeing yoke, a next level racing chair, a pendular rudder pedal, CST tillers. There's going to be a ton of stuff getting raffled away for this event. So make sure you guys tune in and say what's up and, shoot for the cause.
Yeah, absolutely. And, guys, don't be afraid to donate. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital has a real special place in my heart. Back when I was a 17-year-old disc jockey at WGOW Radio in Chattanooga, I actually got to do radiothons for St. Jude's, became involved with them way back then. And my wife and I have been pretty constant donators to St. Jude's over the 40 plus years of our marriage. So it's a really, really special thing. These children go in there and they're suffering from all kinds of everything from just a plain garden variety, if there is a such thing, cancer, to all of this really weird stuff you've never heard of before. And Danny Thomas started St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, a former Hollywood entertainer, many years ago. And his daughter Marlo Thomas has continued on with his legacy, and they continue on. This is one of the best, most profound charities that you could hope to be a part of. So please watch, please tune in to all of the channels, and make a donation, even if it's $5. Don't just donate, to necessarily win something, but donate because there's a kid there who really needs your help. And I would encourage you, and really, really encourage you strongly to consider making as much of a donation as you can. Not just even a $5, but a $20 or $50, even $100 or more if you have the means to do so. So really, really good deal.
Yeah. If
Mark,
I'm not mistaken, I apologize, but if I'm not mistaken, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but Wings for Hope raised nearly $30,000 last year, if I'm not
Wow.
mistaken.
Between $20,000 and $30,000 last
Yeah.
year we raised, and last year we raised it for the Orbis, the flying hospital, the DC-10, the MD-11 conversion. This year we are anticipating, hey, we want to hit at least $30,000 to $35,000. But to your point, there, Captain Jack, I sent you the Discord link. Inside the Discord link, we already have the link to donations for St. Jude. And in that link, we have separate things like, hey, there's something about an art party, things of that nature to help the kids at St. Jude. Again, like you said, the $5, that's kind of that's kind of on the low end. What we're looking for is to actually help directly to the children at St. Jude. Like I said, near and dear to my heart. I used to work at a separate children's hospital in Memphis, and we used to do some of those surgeries for St. Jude when they kind of got overloaded. But great work that St. Jude is doing down there in great city of Memphis.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, guys, keep that in mind, and really glad that we could talk about that a little bit tonight too. Mark, I wanted to ask you some other questions regarding that. Who is setting up everything as far as the simulator? What are you using for the simulator for this? Who's running the show? Who's sending it out over YouTube? Yeah, it's going to be on some of these other channels, but what's the main group that is putting this whole event together? And tell us about some of your people behind the scenes, maybe.
All right, yeah, no worries. So Wings for Hope, Cap Jack, I think I just sent you that Discord link. So it'll be we would like for everybody to go to the official Wings for Hope YouTube page and Discord to watch the actual stream. It will be restreamed on every content creator's YouTube page or Twitch, wherever they may stream from. But the main page will be the Wings for Hope YouTube page. So any chats need to be directed to the Wings for Hope page. You can watch it on your favorite content creators page, but their chat will not be open during that time, other than for the purposes of just watching the stream. In the background, the entire team is contributing to the build of the 777 layout. We've had numerous meetings thus far just to make sure we got everything that we need to ensure that our setup is as realistic as we can get it to possible, due to the fact of us not having an actual realistic cockpit this year for World Flight. We're still in the works. More to follow on that. We are working to get us a new level D simulator, so that when we do future Wings for Hopes, we are in the actual cockpit, back to what our viewers are used to looking at.
Okay. Okay, very good. Well, again, thank you for that. Looking forward. I got to tell you, I'm a big Mickey Mike fan. I'm a big CST and Owls fan, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on there and hearing your voices, and being able to see how you do on this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Are you feeling a little nervous, a little pressure, a little angst at all?
I wouldn't say there's any sense of nervousness. I think it's more just anxious to get down there and actually do it with the guys. There are going to be fantastic people down there. Being able to get into the cockpit with Mark and CST and potentially do round trip flights with them, and I think Mark and I were kind of talking about possibly bidding on the Vegas to Honolulu flight to fly together. We might be able to do that. Hopefully, we'll see. I would love to do that flight. Obviously, I live in Vegas, but it's going to be an overnight flight, unfortunately. So the flight's going to be going on at about 2 o'clock in the morning. However, again, the cause is just the main reason. I think there's no sense of being nervous to go down there and do it. I think it's just a matter of being yourself, hanging with the people that, enjoy the same hobby as you do and have the same passions that you do. And, I think we're all there for the cause itself, when it comes to what the actual basis for World Flight is and what we do for it. It's, something that is extraordinary. And I got to give a huge shout out to Midnight Maverick for he's working his ass off this year, man. Excuse my language, but my guy has been nonstop since they found out that they would have to build their own cockpit, and that we have to give shouts out to Thrustmaster and stuff like that for helping us out as well. But hopefully by next year, I think is the goal. They're trying to get into a level D sim. I think one of my personal family friends is helping them out with that. Hopefully we'll see. There's no promises, so we don't want to make any guarantees that that's going to happen. But nonetheless, it's going to be some of your favorite content creators on that screen, regardless of the cockpit that we're flying. The basis is the St. Jude. It's not what we're flying or how we're flying. It's just what we're flying for.
Well said. Well said. CST, how about you? What are you anticipating coming up with the world flight?
Nothing. I'm excited about being part of something that's bigger than me, right? So, it's obviously there's gonna be content creators out there. I don't consider myself a big content creator. That's not why I'm going. But if I can bring two people there to watch a stream and donate even a few dollars, I consider that a success. So the virtual this event is it's a simulation event, first of all, right?
Yeah.
Hosted by Vatsim, and all these numerous content creators. There's so many. There's a bunch of teams. There's like I don't know, like what is it, like 15, 20 teams? Anyway, they're all over the world. It's not just US or whatever. There's teams in the UK, there's teams overseas all over the place with full blown cockpit simulators. It takes place once a year, right? Obviously, and we already talked about what is it for. Obviously, it's a charity event. And it has not been going on for only, I think Mark said the past 3 years. I think this thing started like in the 90s, like 1999 or something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
It was
yeah.
it was a much smaller thing, right? There was only a couple of teams when it started, but it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. And as of last year, I think the grand total since they started is over $1 million raised for St. Jude. So that's huge. I mean, I don't know, to have such a small niche community raise that much money for that cause in just a few years. I think that's insane. So that's the thing. I'm actually very humbled to be able to partake in something like this. And it's not one of those things where, hey, they're going because they want to stream or whatever, right? Understand for those people that are listening, okay? I'm None of us are getting paid to go do this. As a matter of fact, I'm not trying to like pat my own back or anything like that. By the time I'm done with this, I'm probably gonna be like, I don't know, $2,500 short, right? Because we're paying for a way out there, we're paying for rental cars, we're paying for a place to stay, we're paying for food, we're paying to get back and forth to the simulator, right, and going back to bed. So it's a thing that we're doing out of our own goodness of our heart, right, to get this thing going and raise money for a good cause. And a lot of us, especially the people out there that are going to be there full time, are actually spending a lot of money doing this, right? So it's not for the we're not trying to get in the spotlight. Oh yeah, it's not something that you get paid the whole time. Oh, come leave, come, it's all paid and taken care of for. It's something that you actually got to commit and do, right? Especially if you're planning on doing the whole event, kind of like what I'm doing. I want to, I want to be there from day one until the last day. So I'm putting out, right? So and why am I doing it? Because that's something that I truly believe in. That's something that I care about. And charity in particular, especially being in the military, Mark can probably speak to it, and maybe even Andrew. charity and uh, public service in the military is something that it is instilled in you since day one, right?
Yeah.
So it's part of my life. You know, that's what we do. We do community service. We do charities. We do that's a constant thing in the military because that's what we're all about. We're about service, right? So whenever somebody approached me, and in this particular case, it was Mark that approached me. It's like, hey man, would you like to do this? This is why we're doing it. And I'm like, yeah, let's go, right? Oh, but
Nice.
you're gonna have to pay your own way. I don't care, dude. Let's do it. Let's go.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm very honored, humbled, and I'm excited to get this thing going and raise as much money as possible. I'm hopeful that we can raise more money than last year. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I agree. And also, fun fact, Captain Jack, I don't know if you know, but Mr. Kevin 47 himself is a part of the Wings for Hope crew as well. He will be
Yep.
down there this year as well. Yeah. So huge shout out to Kevin 47 who is in my chat right now. He's talking about how excited he is to be down there as well. Just quickly, guys, I want to say hello to everyone that is just now tuning in. We're about an hour into the podcast. We've been talking about a couple of different things here and there. Obviously, world flight and software and technology and this, that, the third. Thank you, Owls, for being a W moderator and getting that absolute goon out of my chat. But Micah Messer is in the chat. Micah Messer, the legend himself. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Pitchy, hope you're well, man. Azrito is in chat. Azrito, guys, if you guys don't know, Azrito and Flight Sim Gaming, those are two other Flight Sim content creators that I've just come across over the last week of phenomenal content creators. So make sure you stop in and say what's up to them. So, but yeah, guys, we're just here, the virtual flight deck with Mr. Captain Jack, CST Gaming, Fly with Lotto, Major Mark, Owls, and Andrew from the Seattle Art CC, ZLA Art CC. Let me rephrase there, and a good old Portland Tower, my friend. But do appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you guys smash down the thumbs up button on both my stream and over on Captain Jack's stream, and drop a subscription if you are new to the channel. I've had a couple of people subscribe, but I completely forgot I did not set up alerts on this page with OBS, so I do apologize for those that did subscribe. Welcome. And yeah, man, we're looking forward to it. Again, if you guys are not familiar with World Flight, make sure you head over to the website, do some research on it, and we are part of the Wings for Hope crew. The next live stream that I do, guys, I will be advertising it and inviting you guys into the Discord that has been created for Wings for Hope, so you guys can actually have real up-to-date updates with Wings for Hope and what we're going to be doing and who's going to be flying what in this, because I think we're still actively working on the schedule, right, Mark? I think the schedule is still actively being worked on. So
Yeah, we're still working on the active schedule. We're trying to keep it to where our mainstream content creators, they are falling in line with their normal stream time,
Yeah.
so that their viewers can actually see them, same time that that they would normally be streaming.
Yeah.
And
You
if
know,
I may, if I may, real quick, I'm sorry. Just a little history about World Flight. Yeah, this was started back in the early '90s with Gary. I think Gary. I can't remember his last name right now, but this was started back in Australia. Thus, the reason why World Flight always starts and ends in Australia. Then you have the British teams that kind of came along, and then so forth and so forth. You got a team from Turkey, you got a couple
Yeah.
teams from the U.S. that all kind of joined in. So right now there's a friendly competition between the 14 teams that participate on the annual basis to do the race around the world. But in return, what we're doing is we're raising over $1 million+ to give back to various charities. Each team picks their own charity. It doesn't have to be the same charity every year. Like we changed from Orbis this year to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and we raise money. That's
Yeah.
kind of what we do for World Flight.
Mhm.
That's the reason for World Flight. At the end of the day, it's to raise money for a reputable cause, and we bring along our passion for aviation with it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, Jack, some of these crews, man, there's a crew that it has a full level D A330 cockpit that they're flying. It's absolutely insane. So some of these crews that are there, these crews don't play around when it comes to simming and what they do. A lot of real world pilots that are coming down to do this. Obviously we're going to have real world checklists and stuff like that. I think actually we're just using the checklist that's within the airplane because we are flying the 777 this year. But it's just going to be an awesome time, guys. So make sure you guys tune in. Again, it's November 2nd through November 9th. The minute we start streaming November 2nd, that stream is going to be going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, obviously with 12-hour breaks in between, or breaks in between every 12 hours because the stream has to be reset every 12 hours due to YouTube restrictions, right? So
Actually, we're going to start streaming on the first. We're going to do our repositioning flight. So this is something unique to the Wings for Hope crew. We do a repositioning flight. We bring our plane out of our hangar.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
In Ontario, California. So on the first, we'll be streaming from Ontario, California, down to Sydney, Australia.
Jesus Christ, that's a long flight.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to World Flight,
Well,
baby.
well, now that we have the 777, we can do it in one flight. Last year we did it in about, I think it took us about 8 flights to get down there with the 737.
Wow.
Holy.
Yeah, there you
Hey,
go. Well, guys,
Judge.
once again, yeah, go ahead, CST.
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
No, I was just going to say you're watching the third installment officially of the Virtual Flight Deck with myself, Mickey Mike, CST Gaming, Owls FS. We're kind of the original core, and with us tonight is Major Mark and Andrew from Vatsim, and our great buddy Fly with Lotto is here. We're going to be talking about Vatsim and some other things going on, and getting some input there from Andrew, and talk about good protocol, good operating procedures, and everything on Vatsim. It's real important that we know and understand, what the proper way to operate in Vatsim is, just for the immersion and for, the goodwill of everybody that's participating. So we'll move on to that. Before we talk on that, though, I want to go around the horn here with everybody. And Al's, I'm going to start with you, and then Andrew, we're finally going to get to hear from you a little bit too on a subject here. But I want to know, what do you think? And I'll wrap it up as we go through everybody. But what makes you a little bit different than the other streamers and the other flight simmers here that do streaming on YouTube and otherwise as well? So, Al's, I want to start with you. I think you're the youngest among us, as I said a little while ago, and as I've mentioned before, and will continue to mention, you and Mickey Mike and CST got me through some pretty tough times last year. I'd sat up on the couch when I couldn't move and watch you guys for hours on end, learn so much about flight simulation. But what makes Owls FS stream and everything that you do maybe a little different? What do you want your niche to be in the flight sim community and streaming? Go ahead, Owls.
Well, I think you said it yourself. I'm the younger one. I would say that there's it's pretty simple. I would say that there's a lot of YouTubers that are out there. There's a lot of older guys, a lot of younger guys, but I think I just fit the middle of being the younger guy, but people mistake me every day for being 21, 22. So I think I'm appealing for the younger people that want to take it as, professionally, like a career. I think I appeal to those kind of people. I also think that it's my personality. I can become a little bit of a yapper. And when it comes to just talk, when it comes to just talk, like, some people ask me just the simplest question, and I will talk. Literally, I've done it every stream. Somebody asks a simple question, I talk for 15 minutes on that one chat. It's
But you
probably
spend 3 hours on the ground before a flight.
that too. I also
Yeah.
another thing. I fully deboard and reboard my airplanes with everything. And I think the main thing, which I get a lot of feedback on, which I think is honestly the main point, is I read every single chat. I hate talking about myself, but I think the main thing is I don't skip a chat. If I skip a chat, I feel terrible. I don't like it. Even when I have, a full chat of everybody talking, I try to even scroll back and read every single one, even after a departure. If everybody's still chatting, I read everything. So I think because I just treat everybody how I want to be treated. Like, if I'm chatting in YouTubers chat, personally, if I say something, I'm chatting to him. I want him to read it. So that's kind of what I think when I see everybody else chatting. If they send something, I'm going to read it. Hopefully, if they have a question, I'll answer it. If they have a comment, I'll react to it. But I think that's what sets me apart.
And I'll tell you right now too, dude, your smile and your friendliness and your upbeatness is really outstanding. I remember that was one of the things that drew me to you. As a matter of fact, my wife would come in and she said, "Oh, you're watching Owls again. I love that young man." So it's pretty cool. So you're coming across that way. You're a bright upcoming personality, I think. Now I tell you, there's you and Mickey Mike, I think, should have gotten into radio. You guys should be on the radio. Mike definitely has personality and voice for it, and the gift of gab. And you come across just so welcoming and friendly. And that was one thing I was going to bring up too, is you do tend to try to read every single chat. And I've seen you go back, and I've even put something in the chat there and thought, well, he's busy. He didn't have time to, read everything. But then 10 minutes later, you'll go back. So, my hat's off to you. Good job.
Sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but I left off one thing I think CST would enjoy. the biggest difference with me is if I have a thumbnail, I'm taking at least an hour to make it because I'm a perfectionist with this.
No. I know you said CST, but I've been in the Discord when you're going through your thumbnails, my guy, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, dude, just take a picture of the plane and post it, man. He's like, no, I got to do this, and we give him flack for it, right? However, I 100% respect the grind because the attention to detail is there, right? Yeah. And I mean, you see his thumbnail for his stream tomorrow is phenomenal, right? I couldn't be fucked to do that stuff. Excuse my language, but I'm not taking it out. I'm going in. I'm taking a good screenshot of the plane that I'm flying at the airport that I'm flying out of, and I'm posting it and calling it a freaking day. But man, my guy's got his airplane is kind of entwined with the airport, and he's got the letters there and this, that, the third. It's just like, my guy, they're going to click on this one time, and the rest of the time, they're just going to see you. But it gets the clicks, right?
He's disappointed again. Anything you would like to say?
Go ahead, CST.
Go ahead.
Me? You want me to say something?
Yeah, what do you want to say?
Yeah, CST, tell us a little bit about, what makes you different? What's the niche difference for CST gaming? And I've noticed you guys have started to get into a few other things too. Mike, you've been racing some. CST, you've been posting videos other than flight sim. I love the shorts you do. I watch them just about all the time. And I've got another Instagram name with my ham radio call sign that I use, and I've been watching all of those that you've been posting. Yeah, what's the niche difference with CST gaming?
I think a lot of my stuff, as a lot of the way I carry myself on, as far as the channel is concerned, is in a military way, right? So, because going back, I mean, for most of my adult life, that's been my life, right? So it's kind of hard to get away from the military. When it comes down to real quick about Al's thumbnails, I've spoke my piece with him, but it's neither here nor there because there is certain things that I might do on my side because I'm OCD about a lot of stuff that Al's might say, well, hey, you don't need that, or you don't need to do all that, right? But that's the same way with him. He's OCD about his thumbnails and spending 3 hours on a thumbnail. So hey, if that is what if that's what makes your day, then so be it, right? But at the end of the day, what I've been trying to tell him is, you can spend 3 days on a thumbnail, or you can spend 5 seconds on a thumbnail. Your people are still going to watch you. Your followers are still going to follow you, right? It doesn't matter that your thumbnail is like, kapow, right? It's, but that's not even the point why he's doing it. I don't think he's doing it so much for the viewers. He's doing it for himself. I think that's what it is, because he is that type. He has that satisfaction, right? His thumbnail is like, oh wow, it's for his own satisfaction. He looks at it and is like, that thumbnail is fire. But me, I can tell you as a viewer, I don't care about your thumbnail, bro. I'm just waiting for your face to show up and be like, what is going on, my guy? How you doing, Sissy? That just makes my day, dude. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. The show is on, dude. Screw the thumbnail. Nobody cares. Right? I'm waiting for you, bro. I'm waiting for you, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Have a fantastic day, dude. It's so fantastic. I made him a damn emoji on it. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta tell you, that meme that CST made of the airplane being broken into 3 different pieces with Owl's face on it that said, it was a 3,000 foot per minute landing, but it was a smooth landing, my guy. It's so good, man. It is so good.
Oh my god.
So anyways, as far as me is concerned, I always say it too, and a lot of these guys have probably heard me say it too. I value quality over quantity, right? So little fun fact is, I have 3,800 and some subscribers now. I don't have the exact number. A couple of weeks ago, I don't know why, but I wanted to know for sure, right, what the number was. I counted the amount of people that are on my ban list on YouTube. There's 2,875 people that I have banned from YouTube. So if I would have kept all those people that I don't care for, I would have been at 6,000 subscribers. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is, because of possibly the same reason that Al's takes 3 hours to make a thumbnail, right? Because of OCD, I cannot deal with nonsense in my Discord, I cannot deal with nonsense in my chat. All right. Now you say, well, Sisti, what do you mean by nonsense? It doesn't have to be a troll. It doesn't have to be anything like that. But hear me out for a second, okay? If I have a person that comes in my chat,
You have
right?
3 minutes.
Okay, I'm sorry. If I have a person that comes in my chat, I will say this, and then you can do whatever. If I have a person that comes in the chat, and after having clicked on my thumbnail, right, and even read my title, okay, and then he proceeds to ask me, "What game is this?" You need to get the hell out. Okay, I got no time for you. You know, or where you flying to? You need to step, son. I don't have no time for you. I already raised 2 kids. I don't need other kids in my chat. All right. Now,
Oh,
if you're a kid, and you have a head on your shoulder type kid, you're a 10-year-old kid, and you come in there and you act accordingly, but I can still see that you're a kid. Cool. But if you're a kid or a grown up or whatever, and you come into my stream and you say, "What game is this?" or when it's clearly on the title, on the description, and everywhere pasted all over the damn place, then I just don't have enough time for that. That's my OCD. I can't deal with that, right? I am not a preschool. I am not a kindergarten. I am there to share my hobby and my passion with level-headed, same type of people as me, right? People that think alike, people that enjoy the same thing that I enjoy. So for people, if you don't like me, the thing is, it's great, right? There's so many people doing the same thing, and you might not might like somebody else. Go watch somebody else. There's no reason for you to sit in my chat and tell me, "Oh well, it sucks to look at you fly in your cockpit for 4 hours." Then why are you here, my guy?
Hit the back button and go
You
hit
know?
another video, bro.
Why are you watching me, dude? You know? It's like I don't have time for that. I always tell people, miss me with the nonsense. I don't need to deal with that, right? So if you have nonsense, just miss me completely with it, okay? Because if you don't miss me with it and you start asking me dumb questions in chat, right? I'm not saying legitimate questions. There is legitimate question. I know the difference. I'm a grown ass dude. I know what the difference is between a dumb question and a question, okay? There's a dumb question and there's a stupid question. Stupid question, I'll entertain once in a while. A dumb question, you need to step, son. Because you come in here and I'm driving a car, driving a truck, and you tell me, "Hey, what you doing, dude?" "I'm fishing, dude. What does it look like I'm doing?" "Are you serious?" "I'm driving a freaking truck, dude." Right? That's the kind of stuff I don't have time with. Same thing goes with my Discord. I'm very OCD when it comes to my Discord. All right. I kick on an average 7 people a week from Discord. Gone, out, step. Right? The first people to go is people that are inactive. It's not a dormitory, bro. You either come in here and you share your passion, or you go, dude. I don't want to see a thumbnail on my damn Discord of you that never talks and never does anything. Get the hell out of here. I don't need you, right? You don't need me, and I don't need you. You're not asking me questions. You're not asking my inputs. You're not asking for help. You just sitting here with your little thumbnail with the little "I'm busy, don't talk to me" sign. I don't need you, bro. Get the step in, right? So inactivity will get you out of the. I won't ban you. I'll kick you. You can come back when you become active again, right? So I'm gonna kick you out because you're not doing anything. You're not taking or bringing any value to a community that I'm trying to build. You see what I'm saying? So I'm a little strange when it comes to that type of stuff, right? There's got to be value added. So I'm trying to add as much value as I can to the community, right? By bringing in people as well in my community that can do the same,
Yeah.
right? So that's where I'm at, right? So that's the thing. Again, you look at my Discord kick slash ban list. That's probably actually a lot more than a couple thousand. That's probably up in the teens, but because people, Discord is a lot easier to join than anything else. Plus, you get all the bots and everything else in Discord. I've been successful pretty much. My Discord is the cleanest Discord that I ever seen, to be honest. I don't have any type of stuff popping up with bots and stuff like that. So I'm pretty proud of that. So, but yeah, I constantly check it at least once a week. But most of the time, twice a week. I check for suspicious accounts. I check for people that are inactive. duplicate whatever, you know what I'm talking about, duplicate accounts, all that type of stuff, and they're gone. Out, get out. I don't need you. So going back to this whole thing that I've been saying, quality over quantity. That's my big motto.
There you
Quality over
There you
quantity.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, one of the best questions I was asked in one of my streams a couple of days ago is, "What do you dislike the most about the flight simulation community as of right now?" And my answer to that was as simple as it can be: is the toxicity. It's turned into there's a lack of common sense in this community, and an extreme amount of toxicity in this community for zero reason whatsoever. So, when it comes to, I mean, everybody's in my chat just spamming the most annoying questions that a flight sim content creator will ever receive. Is, when is the giveaway? Where are we flying? What airplane is this?
The giveaway's over on Captain Jack's channel. So
yeah. Everybody's in my chat, ! Enter right now. Owls, thanks for starting that, bro.
Well, let's continue on here, because we're actually going to touch back on something CST has alluded to, and he did earlier in the stream today, and I told you guys beforehand we do that. But talking about what makes you a little bit different than some of the other content providers. So, Andrew, I'm going to come to you, then Mark, and then Lotto, and then Mike. I'll let you and I wrap that one up. Andrew, welcome to the virtual flight deck tonight. You've been streaming some content. I think you do primarily on Twitch, right?
Yeah, mostly because I have no idea how YouTube works.
Tell us, what sets you apart a little bit from some of the other streamers?
To be honest, I don't really know. Just because I don't stream a ton. I don't it's not I don't make any money off of it. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't know if you saw in the channel a couple days ago, I got rated by some guy with 80 viewers, and I asked Owls, what do I do? How do I entertain 80 people? Because I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm just doing it for fun. I like to stream the controlling side of Vatsim a little bit more than the flying. I'll still fly, but I like when I do stream, I'll stream the controlling side of Vatsim, just because you don't get that as much as the flying side. But yeah, I'm not super big into content creation. I don't have a very large following. I only have 120 followers or something like that.
I think everyone in here, including Lotto, everyone in here that does live stream and all that kind of stuff, the best advice that I ever received was just talk to the camera as if you got 1,000 people watching you, and be yourself. Don't put on a face just because you're on a camera talking to a bunch of people that share the same passions that you do. When I started this back in September of last year, man, as Owls, my first stream was atrocious. It was horrendously bad, but I talked the entire time and not a single chat was made. So, it's a matter of just being yourself and getting comfortable and getting rid of that stage fright when it comes to, holy crap, there's 90 people watching me right now. What the fuck am I going to do with this? It's not even that. People are there to watch you. They're not there to watch what's going on, and I think that's a big misconception in content creation is they're there to watch the game. They're there to watch the sim or whatever game it is that you're playing.
Just called a game.
Oh my God forbid, right? Yeah.
You made it, bro. You made it.
They're not just there they're there to watch whatever it is that you're playing, whether it be Assetto Corsa, flight sim, train sim, truck sim, whatever, right? But they're there to watch you as well. There's a big thing in the personality, right? So so just keep that in mind when you continue to do the Twitch streaming, because Twitch, even though it's not YouTube and not Kick and this, whatever you stream on, people are going to go to watch because they like watching you, right?
Yeah. Mark, what about you? What about you, Mark?
Hey, so I'm not even, I wouldn't even call myself mainstream. I'm a little mix of XP, I'm a little mix of CST, a little bit of Canada. I'm doing this because this is what I love. I don't care if I have one person in my stream or I have 1,000 people in my stream. I got 50 subscribers, and I've only got 5 streams posted, and not bragging on myself, but I'm in it for my passion and my love. If you're coming in there to be a naysayer, I'm kicking you out quick as I can get you out of there with the click of my mouse. I'm doing this. This is something I've been doing for 10, 20 plus years almost now. So if you don't have the same passion as I do, don't even subscribe, don't even like, don't even come into the stream.
Don't even come into the stream.
Lotto, how about you, buddy?
Well, for me, it's I don't really do live streams, right? But the first live stream I did, it was on Instagram, pulled in some viewers. I was really happy about that. And then what I hear from everybody that we talk on Discord, everybody was saying, man, you know what? This was really good. We really liked it. It was very enjoyable. I know CST said it, Mike, Owls, and a couple of the other guys are coming on Discord. But what makes me different is I put my heart into everything, right? When, I know Mark was talking about cancer and Wings for Hope, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely going to donate. I lost my dad in 2023 to cancer, multiple cancers, liver, lung, and bone cancer. And a matter of 3 weeks when we found out that he had cancer is when he passed. And I think that's what got me into doing what I'm doing now and got me my mind to be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna really like focus on something. You have your family that can always be there for you, but you need to get your mind right, even though your family's gonna support you, right? But what makes me different is even when I started doing this, I didn't, everybody kind of follows the trend of like saying, okay, I'm gonna do this, 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 and this, what everybody's doing, right? Don't if you don't have to, if it's not broke, don't fix it in a sense, right? So if somebody's streaming, you stream as well, because in the end, the camera is gonna like you because your personality is great, right? Like everybody's got a great attribute to them. You know what I'm saying? They just have to realize what that is. But for me, the biggest thing that I say, I am a transcender. And the reason why is because of the simple fact that it's I'm doing things that nobody has ever seen before when it comes to the flight sim community. People are now I'm seeing people that are opening up Instagram and TikTok pages and doing the same thing, and now they're already 100, 200,000 followers in a matter of like 6 months, and following that type of a trend with the different type of music and being in a different, just doing different things, even though like a lot of it is repetitive on my end, is just turns stuff that nobody does in the sim, right? But in the end, I tried to do live stream and I froze, and I'm like, wait, I know how to talk. Like, I'm in sales. But in the end, this is giving me the platform to continue to keep doing what my first goal was, and that's live streaming, right? And I'm going to start that, and I know that that's going to come in the near future here, not only on YouTube but also like Instagram, TikTok, and all these different platforms. But I guess that would be it, right? I do something different, and I like that I do something different, and I think, how can I do something else that's different?
Very good. Yeah, good stuff there. Mike,
Well,
what say you?
I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm different than everybody else. I don't think I really do anything that's different. I think what I bring to the table when it comes to why I started doing this is just simply because of the passion that I have for aviation and the passion that I have for just teaching the younger generation that is in, because let's be real here, right? Majority of the flight sim community is those of the younger generation, right? The up and coming teenagers, late teens, so on and so forth. Owls
Hey,
is
hold
a
on, time
testament
out.
to that.
Younger generation.
I'm confused.
What are you? What are you? What are you? 25?
I'm 28.
You're the younger generation, though, my guy.
I'm almost 30, man. Come on, give me a
My
break.
guy.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
I'm talking
He's
about.
flight sim
I'm talking
royalty.
Me and
about.
Owls are the
Yeah,
younger
right. Exactly,
generation.
Mark. Yeah, exactly. I'm
See,
talking about
I'm seeing Steve's dad and the
Yeah.
rest of y'all's grandfather.
Right.
Who you talking about? Little Timmy? You talking about little Timmy?
No, I'm talking about the 13, 14, 15-year-olds that are coming up into the flight sim community and wanting to get into aviation and this, that, there, because you can get a private pilot's license at 15, 16 years old, right? So, am I a part of the younger generation? Sure. Well, if you want to fucking put it that way, absolutely. But you look at it, I've got 12 years on Owls, right? So
Watch your mouth, dude. Watch your mouth.
yeah, right. I think what I bring to the table is just the
Gotta stay on
experience.
top of this, kids.
Bro, give me a break. All right. I think what I bring is just being able to give my personal experiences growing up and not making it through to being what I wanted to be. You know, because you look back at me 15 years ago, I could have swore I'd have been a captain at an airline by now, flying, transatlantic flights, wide bodies, so on and so forth. But I'm a private security guard for a hotel and casino, right? It's exactly. Give me the segue. It's charging in my bathroom right now.
I didn't know that.
Right.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so-
I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And you see, I catch a lot of flack from the guys that are here, but it's motivating, right? It's motivating, and it gives me a purpose to continue to strive to be better, right? So, would I have expected to be where I'm at a year ago now with 1,200 subscribers or whatever, monetized on YouTube, a regular chat, regular people that come in and this, that, the third, meeting people such as CST and Mark and Lotto and Owls, and Canada and so on and so forth? No, absolutely not. You know, when I started this channel, I was like, you know, I'm just going to give it a shot. If it takes off, it takes off. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Right. But outside of YouTube, I'm still trying to figure myself out and what it is that I want to do in life, because this isn't necessarily the place that I want to be currently. And that's not a bad thing. And I kind of bring those experiences to the chat and to YouTube and give that kind of insightful advice to those that are going through something that might not be the best of situations. And I can kind of give them my experiences of like, hey man, I was in flight school. A lot of people forget I was a student pilot. I was on my way to getting my private pilot's license. Unfortunately, circumstances were the way they were back then, and I had to move back home. My mom got severely sick. Luckily, I got 5 more years with her before she passed. But you know, if I can kind of, my goal has always been, if I could have someone in my chat from a year ago now tell me a year later that, hey, I just passed my commercial check ride. I want to thank you for providing the content and giving me the advice you gave me a year ago. That's my goal, right? Because I'm not in a position to where I can go and do that now. So if I can help people just by talking to them through a camera and through a chat, give them the opportunity to go and do that and just give them my life advice of what I went through and what to expect, then that's enough for me, you know? And on top of that, I love flying, man. I love aviation. Every time I hear a plane go overhead, I look up and I'm just like, oh,
Yep.
you know, that's just me, right?
That's a 747.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Out of
So,
London, Luton.
you know, so, and I'm brutally honest with people. I don't sugarcoat things for people. If I tell people they're being dumb, it's just because they're being dumb. All right. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat things for people. I'm very brutally honest with people and what they need to expect. And especially with those that are coming up in the content creation scene, right? It's, I had this conversation with a longtime subscriber of mine back when I was flying Seattle to Boise in the 7-3 a few weeks back. I on camera told someone, I was like, your content is not enjoyable to watch right now because of these circumstances. Change that and let's figure out what we can do to make you successful, right? So, and I think a lot of people know what I'm talking about. And it's not to knock the kid because he's just working with what he's got. But there needs to be that somebody that'll say, look, dude, what you're doing right now is not going to work in the future. It's not. And if you continue down this road, unfortunately, people are going to catch on to the game and say, hey, I'm not interested in this anymore. So fix that. Fix that. Let me help you fix that. And let's get you to where things will become successful down the road. That's my goal. And even with Owls has what, 90% more subscribers than I do, right? 95 plus, right? If I see him doing something that I think might potentially be a detriment to his channel, I'd say, hey, dude, just so you're aware, this is what my opinion on what you were doing today. Maybe think about this, doing it later. And we have those open-ended conversations with each other. Owls does the same for me, right? If he looks at me and says, he looked at me one day and said, yo, thumbnail's trash, dude. And I was like, what about it is trash? What happened? And I went in, I was like, okay, I see what you're talking about now. And I went in, took another screenshot, put another thumbnail together, and he's like, there you go. And that was one of my most successful streams, right? That was my 1K giveaway. It was one of my most successful streams.
You want those type of friends,
exactly,
you know, to be able to tell you something like that.
You know,
need
like CST
that.
gives me a lot of shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Hell yeah.
I get a lot of shit from CST, but I respect it because he knows what he's doing. So if I can say, if he might not say it in the best of ways, but at the end of the day, it's the story in the background. It's like, okay, I get what he's saying, right? I'm gonna go and try and do my best to make this difference. And Lotto as well. Lotto has said the same thing to me. He's got Lotto came to me and had a very, very, very good heart-to-heart conversation with me about why I was lacking in the content creation space. And he's like, it's because you're expecting it. Don't expect it. It'll just happen. And that's some of the best advice I ever received from somebody is do not make expectations for yourself that are unrealistic. Just make sure you show up on the camera on time. I'm going to shoot myself in the head right here. On time, right? Yeah, exactly. And make sure that you're not letting the subscribers down, and do not put on a face for your subscribers. Just be you. Do not set expectations that are unrealistic. So I think that's what I bring to the table, is just making sure that people know that there is someone that will tell you to your face, hey, what you're doing is not going to work. Because too many people, oh, your content's cool, this, that, the third. Then you go on their channel, it's like they're flying a 7.4 into St. Bart's, dude. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's me.
Very good. Very good. You know, this is all wonderful stuff, and it's wonderful to see your personalities come out. Me, I'm the senior guy of the group. I am 64 and just started doing this a year ago this past May. And I wanted to do it for fun. You know, I was a disc jockey for 35, 40 years in the Denver market and around some other smaller areas around the country. And this is my creative outlet. This is where I get to kind of let my hair out, as it were, and down, and be able to have fun and enjoy it. My original flight streams were entitled Captain Jack Flight Simming for Fun, and that's what I want to do. I want to let a lot of my just fun personality out, have a good time, but really learn too. Really learn. And, you know, Mike, I'm still grateful to you and Johan for jumping in that stream that one time. I can't remember where I was trying to fly into now in the Airbus, but you guys really helped me out in getting that airplane. I could not get that airplane to go down.
It was in Calgary. No,
Calgary, yeah,
Mhm.
the right way, yeah. And you know, I really learned a lot there, and now my landings are getting better, and my whole procedure. I'm remembering things a lot better. I still, you know, have to go by my paper checklist here, of which I have quite a few. And one of my niche things that I think that I want to do is you guys are doing you and CST and Al's are doing the commercial stuff so solid and so well all over the place, around the world, long hauls, everything that you do, all the various countries' airports. And I've been flying the DC-3 some in my streams, and I don't really, at least I haven't seen anybody else who's doing that. Love that airplane. It's old vintage. I try to play some big band music and stuff, you know, just to kind of set the tone. We've done a lot of VFR. Had a wonderful time flying the DC-3 last week. I do a little GA here and there, but very rarely. And you know, I just want to have fun with it. I'm 64, man. I don't know how many years I've got left to do this. So, you know, I want to make every effort to have a good time, to learn what I can. I'm passionate about flying. Mike, my wife and I will sit out on our back deck, and you know, we live in West Denver, so we'll see the Western departures, you know, from DIA, and we'll go, oh, they're going to Las Vegas for the seventh night. It's amazing how many flights go to Las Vegas on a Friday night from Denver. Or they're going to Hawaii, or they're going to Portland, or they're going wherever. And she even gets out her app on her phone now and kind of dreams. You know, it's really
Awesome.
cool, and we have a good time sitting out
Jack.
there. So yeah.
Whatever you do, just don't say the score in Mike's stream. Okay?
Yeah.
Whatever you do.
That was funny. That was great.
Yeah. So to preface and put some context in that for the chat, because Jack, I don't know if you're seeing it on my side. We got a little over 30 people in the chat right now watching the podcast, so we're having a good one tonight. But to put a little bit of context, chat, I was so excited to watch a football game, and I'm in my chat. I'm live. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna watch it at work. I'm gonna listen to the game at work. Please do not say the score. Please do not tell me this. And obviously CST came in with his rowdy crap, and then Lotto, and then Owls followed, and then so on and so forth. But then Jack, true as can be, humble as can be, tunes into the live stream for the first time and says, hey man, you watching the game? Score is. And I'm like, damn it, man. Fuck, man. it's all good. Hey, Mark,
Jack,
I saw
can
that
you please
comment.
tell
Let
me
me-
that you
let me-
actually knew that was going on and you meant
Let
to
me-
do that? Come on, man. I've been saying that to everybody. He meant to
Let
do
me-
that. He knew.
Yeah. Well, let me butt in real quick. I'm not. See, a lot of people like to say I troll. I don't troll. I just come in and I stir the pot. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
I don't just stir the pot, right?
That's a big ass pot you're stirring, though.
I'm a pot stirrer. You know, I'll go
You
in there and I'll be
sound
like,
good.
hey, man.
Yeah.
And I get everybody else going, right? So I'm the guy that goes in there and I start stirring the pot, and then everybody else just follows, right? And everybody's just, you know, giving it to Mickey Mike. We're having a little bit of fun, right? I give it to Oz as well. I do the same thing with everybody, right? So I just like to laugh, have fun. You know, Mickey Mike for me has been known as the person that doesn't take a joke very well. Right?
Come on, give me a
So-
break, bro.
So that feeds me and my stirring pot ability even more. So I even keep stirring more the pot. So having said that, was I ever gonna put the score in his chat? I was never gonna do it. However, I will tell you this. whenever Captain Jack came in the chat and they put that score on the chat, dude, that made my freaking day, dude. I was like, yes, thank you, Jesus.
So
Right?
here's
Because
what I'll say.
the look on Mickey's my face was
Oh, man.
priceless.
You couldn't be upset.
Priceless, dude.
I was
Turn
like,
his
it's
camera
Jack,
off.
man. It's just Jack is
dude,
probably one of the most
turned his
his
camera.
his life, he died on the inside. He was like, it's
No,
okay,
man.
Captain Jack.
No,
But
Well,
at least
anyways.
you got to watch the second half. you know?
Yeah, here's the thing though, right? And I might have this personality that I can't take a joke, but I genuinely feel that my chat has become the laughing stock of all the jokes. And there's a point. Like, I love messing around, talking shit, and doing this at the for Mamba. Apologize about my mouth. Mamba said fresh
Top line.
bar, Irish Spring for
Top
your
line,
potty
dude.
mouth. I don't mind messing around in this, that, the third, but there was getting to a point where it was every stream. It's like every stream I'm just getting shit. And I was
Flight
like,
Simmer
come on,
1,
dude.
2, 3 here.
Yeah, I was like, come on, dude. I was created a fake account. Created a fake account to come and troll me in my chat, and I talked to this kid for over an
Bro,
hour and a
yes,
half
Mike,
before I
Mike,
found
can I
out.
tell you something?
Time out.
Can I tell
But
you something?
here's
Can
the
I tell
thing,
you
though.
something?
Here's the
Hold
thing.
on,
What I'm
time out.
saying,
Can I tell
what
you
I'm
something?
saying is,
No, wait,
there's a point,
I
right?
want to do no. The thing about him with the fake account. Everybody, as soon as he put the first message in the chat, everybody was like, "That's got to be ours." The only person that didn't say that was you. What the hell did
How
you
am I
not say
supposed
that
to
that was
know?
him?
How am I supposed to know?
All
My
you
God.
had to do was read the comment, dude.
No,
Flight Simmer
That's
1,
comment,
2,
dude.
No,
That's
because
ours,
when
dude.
Alice
That's
when
gotta
Alice
be
is in
ours.
my chat, when Alice is in my chat as a regular person, he uses grammar. That kid knew nothing about grammar. What plane this? Who this? Where we fly? And I was like, and it's Flight Simmer 1, 2, 3. I was like, this has got to be a fucking 5-year-old, dude. So I'm sitting here trying to talk to this kid if he's a 5-year-old, bro, like I'm talking to my niece or nephew. And then finally, at the end of the stream, I was so fed up with it that I was just like, bro, I'm done. And then I was like, my bad, guy. And I was just like, dude, like, give me a break, bro. I'm sitting here trying to provide content for the
Hey.
community, right?
Going back to what we were talking earlier. How long do you think Flight Simmer 1, 2, 3 would have lasted in my chat? One comment. That's all it will take. What are you doing? Where are we going? Gone. Get out of here. Flight Simmer
Okay,
1, 2,
yeah,
3. I
but
don't need you.
here's
Right?
the difference, though. Here's the difference,
That's
though.
what you should have done, bro.
No, here's the
That's
difference, though.
what
Here's
you
the
should've
difference, though. I very much so accept those comments because there might be somebody that is new to this shit. Just because they didn't read it or read the title, it's annoying.
Bro,
it can be, right?
Bro,
it can
look,
be.
no, listen. No,
However,
time out.
when it comes
no,
down to
no,
it,
no.
come on, you
No,
gotta
no,
let me
no,
speak,
no,
CST. You
no,
gotta let me
no,
speak, bro.
No, because you're going a totally different direction. I'm talking about Owls came in
This
there.
is how my chat
right,
goes.
with a
This is how my
fake
chat
account.
goes.
No, because you're making no sense. Dude. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. If somebody comes in there and says, "Hey, I'm new to this," you know, what game is this? You know, where do I get this game from? I understand that somebody's new, but if somebody comes in there and starts like just double shotting questions, like just one after the other, like, what are you doing? Where are you going? What are you flying?
You
And why
know
are
it's
flying?
out.
And what are you flying? You gotta know that it's a troll. You gotta get rid of them within the first 2 seconds of them talking.
Okay,
dude. They
but
gotta be gone.
that is you. That is you. This is me. All right. We have two different ways of handling the chat. You do you. Do you. You want to get rid of them within
That's
the
why-
second? By all means.
That's
By all
why.
means.
That's why you rage. That's why you rage because you keep them around and you keep raging.
Imagine
on
if
'em.
that kid's real and then he goes, "What the hell?" Like, when
Yeah,
did I
exactly.
get
That's
banned?
my point. It's like, what if this was a real person sitting here like, what the hell did I do wrong?
His name is Flight
Right.
Simmer 1, 2, 3.
So now I'm kind of
Come
catching on.
on,
I'm kind of
dude.
catching on to the innuendos that this fucking group of people that I hang out with have come up with. So every time, and I swear to God, I'm in these VCs every day, and I sit here. I'm like, why the fuck am I hanging out here right now? I'm just getting constantly. I go, Mike this, Mike that, Mike this, Mike that. It's like, yo, why am I here? I'm here because I love these guys, right? Genuinely, I do, right? But now
You
every
ever
time I
heard
see a
of-
Flight Simmer 1, 2, 3 in my chat, it's an insta ban. Right, I
Yo,
learned a
I'm
lesson,
banned, bro.
Right?
I can't. I'm in the chat right now. I can't
Yeah,
say
you're
anything.
gone, bro. But when it
Listen.
comes down to it, when it comes down to what's said and done, how I am personally, I'll take a joke, but there's a level where I'm just like, all right, dude. It was fun at first. It was funny at first. Let's fucking get back to it, right? Let's get back to flight simming and having a real, time with content creation and talking to the chat, because that's just got it at hand. This has been 2 hours of my stream where I'm just going back and forth with someone about one stupid ass topic that I don't want to talk about anymore. I want to fly my damn plane, So my patience level is next to none. That's why
let you
it
fly.
seems like I can't take a joke. I just have zero patience for the shit, right? So that's just me.
You're literally contradicting yourself. You have zero patience, but you keep the trolls in chat.
This is what
the
I'm
hell is
talking
wrong
about.
with you, dude?
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
It makes no
Listen,
sense.
listen,
It makes no sense, bro. Like,
I'm gonna
I
get real
have
for a
zero
second.
tolerance,
No,
but yet you
No,
keep
no,
that
hold on, hold on.
1,
Let
2,
me say
3 in there
something.
for the
Let me say
whole
something before you
time,
get real.
and you
I'm-
get upset. Come on, dude.
Let me say something before you get real. The people that love you the most are going to talk the most shit.
I
My
get that.
apologies for cursing that. Because in
Vatsim
the
one,
end,
two,
that's
three
the
here.
people that are always going to give you that hard time. But it's all love, right? It's what we do. We're men, right? I'm 41, CSD, some. What are you, CSD 38, right? So like
I
we're
turn
older,
26
right?
tomorrow.
That's what we do. We have
Happy
to
early
joke
birthday.
around, but it's all
Happy
love.
birthday.
I get that. I get that 100%. But I'm gonna get real. It's just like give me a break. I get it. We're having fun. Give me a break though. Just let me do me. Let me do me. That's all I ask is let me do me. If I handle my chat differently than y'all, by all means, just let me do me. If I have a troll in my chat, I entertain the trolls because it's funny, right? But at the end of the day, they're gonna be gone. Let me do
I'll
me.
be flying in on the Outlast 3. Just remember that.
Oh,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm going to keep flying into bad weather. You know, I flew into the hurricanes in my stream. That was really awesome. A flight. And Al's, I was going to tell you, just bring Flight Simmer 123 over to my chat. There you go.
Oh, you want? I got you. I got you.
I can bring
No,
whichever
but
way too, Jack.
Mike, you're right. You're absolutely right. You know, that's one thing here. There's a varied amount of personalities, and I just got a wonderful compliment in my chat here from Micah Mesner. Need more frequent episodes of this podcast, and you know that just speaks volumes. You know, I think that. Everybody can see that we're good friends, that we really enjoy what we're doing. We enjoy these times together. And I think that kind of sets us apart in the flight stream community because, you know, to be honest with you, I don't think there's anybody else doing that. And I think that kind of brings us to our next topic. I want to ask in the chat, and Mike, you'll have to see what your guys say. But I want to ask the chat, especially, why do you come to hang out, as it were, using that phrase, with the flight streamers, the simmers that you do? Why do you spend these hours in the stream? Are you there for the content? Are you there for the personality of the guys, you know, doing the stream? Are you there to learn more about aircraft? All of the above, and anything else that might be encompassed with that. That's a question I wanted to ask everybody in the chats tonight. So if you wouldn't mind answering that, Mike, when you see some guys, you know, coming up with some stuff on that, I'd like to know what the guys in your chat are saying. I want to say hello to Flight Simmer 123. Okay, he's in my chat now. Aviation is Pitchy checked in over here on this side, and so on and so forth. Redneck back up in there. Dom even checked in earlier. Guys, don't forget to please smash that thumbs up button on both Mike and my channel. Al's, we're gonna have
Simmer
fun with
1,
that.
2, 3. Please smash that like. Appreciate you.
Yeah, oh, he did. He
Yeah,
did.
ha,
He did. He
ha,
did.
ha.
Yeah. Anyway,
Tiny-
this is a virtual flight deck, guys. Number 3 in this series. We've been doing this for a while. I think we've got maybe 5 or 6, 7 episodes, Mike, in the can. But let's move on to just a little bit more serious of a subject. And I was, you know, we're coming up on 2 hours. I can hang. I have nothing else
I
going
got
on.
nothing planned tonight.
So, you know, if you guys want to hang around, that's great.
I'm home
I
alone.
think
I'm good.
I think Al's was gonna go to bed, but it ain't out.
Oh, yeah, it's really midnight for
You
you.
know, tomorrow's Sunday. He still has a bedtime.
Here,
Not
you
too
see,
much.
you see behind Al's, you see behind Al's,
All
you
right.
see behind Al's to his right.
Yeah.
There's a door.
Yeah,
You're
y'all
gonna see
missed
the
what
door pop
Andrew
open,
said.
and you're gonna see his dead. Be like, hey man,
What do you
get
say?
back.
What do
You
say?
I
guys
gotta go,
missed what
guys.
Andrew said. Andrew was like, "Yeah, tomorrow's Sunday, but he's still got a bedtime."
All right. All right.
Tyler Aviation 99 says personality is most of it as to why I joined the different flights sim streams. Shadow Dark, I'm not sure. He said I heard they were separated at birth. I'm not sure what that means. Aviation is the best. Says I'm there to get the experience and to learn more about aviation. I learn something every day. Yeah, and you know that's really good stuff. I learn something every time I watch a CST gaming stream. I learn something every time I watch Mike and Al's. I don't know how you guys remember all the crap that goes with flying these airplanes, and you learn them so quick without a checklist is part of that unfinished thought. But how in the world do you remember and learn these aircraft so quick? When I have to sit and watch videos and, line out a different where is it? I type out checklists for everything. Anyway, long and short of it is I really admire you guys for that and really learning them and flying them well. So that is the rest of what I wanted to say before we got into all that stuff. But I want to touch into a little bit more serious serious conversation for just a little bit. And that's proper courtesy and respect to all online, especially in the chats, and to developers that maybe you're trying out their software or whatever the case may be. And CST, I'm going to start with you, and if you can keep it to under 10 minutes or less, I'd like for you to tell us a little bit about why, and then I want to hear from Mike and Al's on this too. Especially, and Andrew and Mark. I'm sorry, this is the part where I guess you guys might not get to participate that much, but I really appreciate you being there. But CST, tell us a little bit about what you precipitate or what you did in your stream earlier today, because I was very impressed with it. I encourage everybody to go back and, if nothing else, watch the first 10 minutes of CST's stream, because we have got to, in this community, treat each other with kindness, with respect, and the same courtesy that we would expect somebody to treat us. You always hear treat people like you want to be treated, but like Mike, you alluded to the fact earlier that it can be a very toxic community, and there's absolutely no freaking cause for that on these chats and on the internet. It happens. I understand that people have a very they're very anonymous behind these names that come up on the screen. I think we're doing the community a really good service by actually putting a lot more about who we are and even our faces here and talking about these kind of things. And I think we try to set a really good example for the community, and especially for the younger people that are coming into this. They need to see that there are good, upstanding citizens, who are going to really talk about things and treat people right. So, CST, with that as a prelude, I'm going to let you go ahead and tell us a little bit about that, and then I want to hear especially from Mike and Al's, because you guys have the larger communities and some of your experiences with it. So CST, you got it.
Well, as an inspiring wannabe content creator, so some of the things that I do is I watch other content creators, right? So I scour the YouTubes, right, for other content creators, and see what they do, see what they talk about, see what their opinions are, all that different stuff. See, check out their cool, uh, fantastic top of the line thumbnails and stuff like that, right? So that's how I come across owls. That's how I come across Mickey Mike. That's how I come across Flight with Lotto, right? You just you could you start looking for people and start seeing what they're doing, right? And it might surprise you to see some of their content at first, right? And you say, oh, that looks cool. I'm gonna do it too. But it's a lot more complicated than what you think it is, right? And I wanna bring this because I don't think it's talked about a lot. But Fly with Lotto, what he does on Instagram, right? It's not. It's a lot of people are like, oh, he's just taking a video of the plane, right? But that's not what it is. It's not just a video of the plane, because that guy is so OCD. He'll look at a shot, right? This is Lotto, right? He'll look at a shot that he just recorded, right? And he'll be like, look, CST, see, I told you, see all that stuff that's happening right there in the windows? I don't like that. I can't have that. That's nonsense. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I don't see any of the shit he's talking about. To me, it looks perfect. You see what I'm saying? So that's the level of attention to details that he brings into his stuff, right? Because you might look at his little shots on Instagrams and you see, okay, this has got a music background. It's about what, 15, 20 seconds, a minute long, whatever, right? And that's it. But you are not preview of what's going on behind the scene, right? I am, fortunately. I've seen it. I've seen him record, edit, upload, reach up, redo, not like, show me, hey, look, all this grainy stuff. I'm like, I don't see nothing, but
It's a
yeah,
masterpiece,
I
to
agree
be
with you.
honest. It's a
Get
masterpiece.
rid of it, right? So he spends the time. So there's a lot going on behind the scene, right? So why am I saying all this? Same thing goes with Owls, with his thumbnails making ability, and making Mike with not having
Go ahead.
zero.
Go ahead. Go
zero.
ahead.
He's not very patient, so you can't really ask him anything. He doesn't put up with us. But I'm just joking. Yeah, everybody has their own unique thing, right? So when you do this and you bring people in and you build a community, you feed off each other and you get better and better and better, right? So that's the point I'm trying to make. Now, I think the point you want me to get to is when in doing this, and we do this in the Discord with Owls, with Mickey. Owls is like, hey, check this dude out. Look at this dude. Look at this dude I found on the internet. Look at it. You know, but that's how sometimes you come across bad apples and good apples, right? And then you come across the good ones. You're like, hey, look at this guy. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, come on over, right? So you build this community, you feed off each other, you learn off each other, right? When I met Owls, this guy literally blew up and surpassed me in all time, right? When I met Owls, you were like, what, 200 subscribers? 300 subscribers. So when I met Owls and I was like, this dude sounds cool, right? This kid sounds cool. I want to bring him in. I want to do this and that and the other. I want him to succeed. I want to, give him some pointers and all the good stuff, even though I'm probably not the guy to be giving out pointers, but I've been doing it for a little bit. On and off. But how do you do, emojis? How did you do this, CST? How did you do this? So I was already kind of established. I had something going on. He was still growing. He was still coming into the game, right? So that's what it's all about, right? And then to see, when I met him, he didn't have a face camera. So I didn't even know what the guy looked like, right? I just know what he sounded like and the type of content he was putting out, and I enjoyed it, right? So I was like, okay, cool. And then it all came through, and he got up to 3, 4, 5. I think he's got like 38,000 million subscribers. I don't know exactly how many he's got. But hey, am I mad? No, I'm absolutely. It's fantastic, my guy. Right? It's awesome, dude. That's my little dude. When there's somebody in the chat in the Discord and they're like, "Oh, Owls," this. I'm like, you better shut up, dude. You're about to get banned. Don't talk shit about Owls.
I've been there where somebody tried to say something about Owls and this and that, and CSC went in there and was like, hey, bro, you better, don't. You can't hate.
Somebody was complaining. Somebody was in my Discord not the other day. I forget exactly when it was. And they're like, all this guy does is talk about sharklets. Bro, if you don't like it, leave. You ain't got to listen and talk about sharklets. Get the hell out. Go somewhere else. Right?
Don't
That's what he's talking about. Right, don't diss my sharkless. Most of all, don't diss my dude. That's my guy, man. You don't mess with my guy. Anyways,
my guy.
And the same thing goes along with everybody else in my community, right? Mickey Mike, Captain Jack, Mark is now starting his own thing, and obviously me and Fly Wilato have created a bond since Expo and all that good stuff, and we fly high. You know what I'm saying? We go high. So so anyways, you come across the bad apples in the community, and you get to see what the bad apples look like. Okay. Now, some of these bad apples will diss and talk bad about developers. And I'm not talking bad apples with like 1 subscribers or 2. I'm talking about bad apples with like, 20,000 subscribers. Not very popular. They're just subscriber number is one thing. Being popular is a different thing. Okay. So let's start with that. But, you still have a following. You still have people looking at you. You still have people watching your videos, right? So when I come across somebody that I consider as a certain number of following, and I see a video titled, hey, this developer is a subpar developer and it is why. And that particular developer that's in the title is not only... It's not one of the best. It's the one, right? It's the one developer that does the most for the flight sim community.
Just and does it workout. It's just the best
and
workout
does it,
of the day.
And does it the best, right? So when I click on this video and I see this I don't want to be rude. So let me not be rude. And I see this gentleman on his video talk about how he reached out to the company and he asked them, well, first of all, he says, I saw this particular product and it's 46 some dollars, right? 46, 45, $50, whatever, right? It's $50. And I'm not going to pay those guys for that. I'm not going to pay that much money for that product. So you know what I did? Because I don't want to pay for the product, I reached out to the company and I asked them to provide me a copy to review. And what they said, no, we're not going to give you a copy for review. That's why this company sucks. Like, I didn't like the company to begin with. But then again, well, all right, time out. Let's time out there. If you didn't like the company to begin with, why are you reaching out to them to get free products to begin with? If you already know that the company is subpar, right? And you already know that their product is garbage, why would you want to get that product from the company to showcase it on your channel? Does that make sense? Why would you want to do that, right? I personally I don't think that we always talk shit. Well, we always talk about Flight Sim Studio, right? I don't think their product is crap. All right. I think the product is incomplete. And I think that product is being complete for far too long. Right. That's why I don't showcase that product in my channel. Right. Because to me, that let me down. I've given money, right, to give into this project because it was a project 2 years ago, right? And to this day, they failed to deliver. That's why I am mad at Flight Sim Studio. I'm not mad at Flight Sim Studio because their product is not good. It looks great. It flies great. It's just missing the basic components of an E-Jet. It doesn't have it. They're not existing. They're not there, right? And we were promised they were going to be there a long time ago. But what they do, instead of working on that, they come out with different variation of the planes, right? They come out with the 190s, they come out with the freighter, and then they come out with another all different plane, right? A lot of people are like, hey, CST, why aren't you flying the 727 from Flight Sim Studio? Because I'm not going to promote Flight Sim Studio when they haven't been able to finish the project before the 727. I'm not going to promote that garbage in my channel, right? That's not a reputable developer, in my opinion. If they can't develop, don't develop, right? Don't just keep selling stuff and selling stuff and selling stuff without being able to finish already what you started before, right? To me, that's a massive failure, and it should be looked at, right? You should look at that before you go and buy a product and support a certain developer. Is this a legitimate developer or is it not? You know, and I'm pretty open when it comes to that too. As soon as Flight Sim Studio delivers on what I've already paid for, I will consider buying the 727, right? Well, why don't you reach out to them? Because I have no interest in promoting Flight Sim Studio. Because to me, that shouldn't be promoted. That's all I'm saying, right? So going back to the gentleman that was posting all this dumb stuff on his channel, not only he does that, but then he comes out with other videos down talking other content creators. Oh, there's content creators that fly in the cockpit. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's boring. Oh, I am the real deal. Call me and it's like
royalty.
flight. I don't want to say certain. I didn't want to say certain stuff because when you say certain things, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want people to know exactly what I'm talking about because I don't want people to go to his channel and do something negative or put negative comments because of the CST said or Mikey said or whatever, right? That's not what I'm looking for. I just want people to be aware that there is content creators out there that not only are doing things for the wrong reasons, but they shouldn't be doing it to begin with, right? They shouldn't even be called a flight simmer to begin with. This dude calls himself a flight sim god. He is the best content creator on YouTube, and he'll look at the camera just like this, and he'll tell you because he's made it. He drives on expensive cars, and he got $40,000 of shoes behind him, Jordans, and you know, miss me with the material BS, bro. That's not what I'm about, right? Miss me with I got money, you know. That's not something you go around and advertise. You got money, that's great, dude. Live your life.
Esrito,
You
my
don't need
guy,
to go
coming
on
in with the
YouTube
membership. Esrito,
with
thank
your
you so
little
much for your
Xbox
business class
controller and
membership.
Flight
Really do
Simulator
appreciate
and
that.
tell people
Massive
how
W
rich
in
you
the
are,
chat for you,
bro.
buddy. Really do
That's
appreciate
not
you.
what it's
Thank you.
about, man. Like, and then on top of everything else, like I said, you want to talk crap about other content creators that have never even talked about you, right? And anytime somebody posts a comment in your video and says, I disagree with you, the first thing you do is you block them. They're gone. I look at these comments and I see a person making complete sense. Hey man, what are you talking about? This company is reputable. They're the best in the business. You know, I disagree with you. You're full of it, bro. Stop saying what you're saying. And guess what? I hit refresh. That content, the company is gone. You know why it's gone? Because he banned them. So, what kind of content creator are you, bro? You can't take negative. You can't take any type of criticism, constructive criticism. If somebody disagrees, they're automatically wrong. He's always right. He'll post stuff like that. So, unfortunately, I think something is wrong with this person, right? I don't think he's all there, right? Just the way he acts and what he says. I don't
You-
think he's really all there. I don't want to diagnose the guy, but um, he says something. He says something about needing therapy and counseling. I think he really should look into going to therapy and counseling because I honestly don't think he's all there.
You know,
But I
see,
might be wrong.
yeah, I want to interject here. That's just the thing. I believe that we can probably run into all types of folks on the internet, and that's where the internet, to me, can be a little sketchy. Sometimes as far as that goes. I wanna go ahead, buddy. Good stuff there. As always, very well thought out and very well said. I want to run on to Mike. And Mike, get your thoughts on that. Once again, we're talking about, I had somebody in the chat says, what are we talking about? We're talking about respect and courtesy and, basically treating people on the internet and in the chat, and especially with other content providers, and then coming into our chats and saying, for instance, they're not going to, they don't like a developer because the developer wouldn't do something for them. Frankly, who do we think we are thinking any of these developers should be doing something for us? If we have the content and maybe the number of subscribers and the number of viewers that they think might benefit their product, well, then that's a great thing and it benefits mutually. But Mike, what are some of your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I think obviously, CST and I both, kind of interjected with this dude. And I feel that my comment wasn't a negative comment on that video. I made it very clear. I was like, look, dude, you can't just make an argument because this content or this development company wouldn't provide you free shit. You have to come up with some sort of credible argument that allows you to say that they are a subpar developer when they are one of the biggest software developers for our flight simulator to date, right? No one. And to give you guys preface, I'm not going to go too much into detail about it, but to give you guys preface, the developer that he's talking about is AnyBuilds. There is no way shot in hell that AnyBuilds is a subpar development team. No way. It's subpar in your opinion because they wouldn't give you free stuff, because they wouldn't partner with your channel. This, that, the third. For God's sakes, they haven't partnered with Owls yet, and Owls is almost at 30K, right? It's AnyBuilds is their company for a reason, and they're successful for a reason. Right. So I made it very clear to the guy, he can't just come up with some bullshit argument and post some asinine video because they wouldn't give you a free airplane. One, by the way, has been out for a couple of years now, which is highly successful. Right. You're one guy. They don't give a damn about you. They don't care. And his response, well, I said it. I said so. So you need to do what I say. No, that's not how this works, brother. That's not how this works. Not one bit. I'm not going to sit here and bend down to your freaking knees and kiss your shoes because you said something is subpar. There's no way. So with all due respect to the guy, I don't know the guy. I haven't talked to him, this, that, the third, but get out of here, man. You can go take your little United 737-600 from St. Bart's to Princess Juliana again, land with the spoilers out and your flaps halfway out, and at 200 plus knots overspeeding your airframe in this, that, the third, and go preface to the Xbox 360 users that don't know a damn thing about flight simulation and what goes into development, because no one's going to give a damn. There's also a guy that thinks Captain Sim is phenomenal, by the way. I'm going to keep that prefaced, by the way. He thinks Captain Sim is just a god tier development team of flight simulators. So I got a bit animated on it because it's like this is the toxicity that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, there's no room for it here. There's no room for it here until I will agree with someone's opinion about someone being a subpar development when you can deliver something that's better. So if you can deliver something to me for my simulator that I can fly that is better than this development team, then I might take your opinion seriously. But until you do that, you can go hop in your little creamsicle orange Corvette and go drive down the Florida coast and go miss someone else with the crap. Because I don't give a damn. Right? At the end of the day, no one gives a shit about your opinion. With all due respect, I apologize for my language, chat, but you guys know me. I don't give a shit about your opinion. And the fact that you had the audacity to post it on YouTube and call yourself Flight Sim royalty and that you're a god and tell everybody to God bless after your comment like you're some sarcastic dickhead, excuse me, but sorry. Excuse my language, chat. I do apologize, but when it comes to
it's French. It's French.
Yeah.
When we do stuff like this, right, and we talk about it, he won.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. I agree.
I don't even remember what the question was, right? But I'd love to hear it. And there was a great question for my apologies. Is it Andrew?
Yeah, Andrew.
Mamba asked a question earlier on my stream about, I can go back to it because he asked a very good question on how do you deal with, like kids that come in and maybe they don't understand a lot of things like how to fly their plane. How would you deal with that? Because I know that that's something that he asked 2 times and we never even saw it on our end.
So how do you deal with Mamba? How do you deal with Mamba, right? Is that what you're asking?
No, not Mamba.
But yeah. I do apologize, guys. I do apologize. To end out what I was saying, it's just the toxicity. And like I agree with that. I got a little bit on a tangent there. I do agree. I apologize if I got a little bit on a tangent there. However, when it comes to the toxicity of the platform, it just needs to stop. So we're all here for the same reason. We're all here for the same reason. Lotto does his stuff for the same reason. Jack does it for the same reason. I do it. Owl, CST, and a plethora of thousands of others people, right? So
unfortunately, I think obviously Lotto, what he said is absolutely right. That's why I didn't want to literally say anything that would point out to who this person is.
Well,
I was trying to keep it on a wrap. But that's fine. If you don't care, that's fine. But the bigger picture is the minute you give him that publicity, whether it's negative or positive, the guy won. So that's why I didn't want to do that. But the other portion of this, real quick, is Andrew makes the perfect point, right? And I think he's in your chat, Mike. He says his content is absolute and not a garbage because he knows what we're talking about. I think that's why he's going for the argutive and that's why he's going for this other type of comment where he is talking nonsense and spewing all this nonsense because that's what's giving him clicks and views, right? So I think we might think that he is this negative Nancy or whatever, but I think he's doing it for the clicks and for the views, right? And for the comments. Because that's what he wants. He wants that traffic. He doesn't care whether it's positive or negative.
It makes
sense.
sense.
Just want people to go in there and be like, "What are you talking about, dude? You're so stupid." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm royal.
He's
whatever.
feeding off of the negativity. He's feeding off of it.
He's not feeding off of it. He's using it to get clicks.
It makes sense.
That's all. That's all you do.
I
you
agree,
don't. You don't even. Let me enlighten you. You don't need likes on your channel. You don't need subscribers on your channel. You need viewership.
Yeah.
That's all you need, right? Everybody goes into his videos and they watch it and they click the thumbs down button and they leave a comment. That's traffic.
Still good.
Yeah.
He still
It's
wins.
generating
algorithm.
income. No, it's not. It's not algorithm. It's money signs. It's money signs, bro. Right? He's making money. Because you're going in there and you're telling him how stupid he is, and you watch his full video because you want to see how stupid he is.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense.
There's some real world parallels there too, because not to get too far off the subject, but that's the way ratings work in radio a lot. The more controversial and the more negative you are, a lot of times, the higher your ratings are. I do want us guys to not necessarily hang on this for too long. I think in wrapping this up. Oh, by the way, guys, I do have all of your subscriber numbers here just for grins. I wanted to look it up while CST was talking just a moment ago. But I think to wrap it up is we as streamers and we as this particular group can maybe help to form a little bit better community by doing what we're doing. And when those negative people come into our chats, I do think that we need to block them and not necessarily let them fill up our particular
Yeah.
situations with negativity, with toxicity. Mike, you say it so well. We can be such a toxic environment, and I think we have a real responsibility to try to maybe help change the world a little bit in our own
Yeah.
little corner here.
And let me
Go ahead.
I want to get to Andrew because I completely stepped over him. I do apologize, Andrew. And again,
No, it's all good.
Andrew, again, I want to thank you for upgrading your membership from business to first class.
Oh, yeah,
I
for
appreciate
sure.
that.
Yeah.
Massive W's for you, buddy. Let me apologize, chat, because I did get on a tangent there, and I do agree with Lotto and CST there. I was playing a part in that because the guy's content just kind of threw me through a loop. So, and I wasn't thinking about that when I was going back and forth with the student in his comments. I wasn't thinking about that. He was genuinely enjoying this stuff. And I was like, I didn't catch that. Right. So Lotto CST, thank you for kind of taking me off the deep end. Cause I was going on a deep end there. I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
I get
So,
it, man.
Yeah.
I get it.
When it comes down to it, we're all here for the same reason. Why I don't judge people for their usage of X-Plane, Microsoft, Xbox users versus PC users. I don't, because at the end of the day, we're here for the same reason. I say it every podcast. We love airplanes. And there's zero reason why we should sit here and argue with each other about it, right? Why would we argue about why the Flight Factor 777 is better than a PMDG? They're both 777s, fly the damn plane. At the end of the day, who cares if they're better or not? It's a plane. So I do want to get to CST. I do want to get to Andrew, and because Andrew is supposed to be a guest on this podcast when it comes. Yes, I want Andrew to start answering the questions about Vatsim and stuff, because we kind of got off on a little bit of a twirl around tangent there about this and whatever. I did whatever.
You guys, you're backing up the community that you guys are.
Yeah.
No.
Because I asked the question.
Yeah, it's all good, and it happens. I have such a passion for these guys and for the people that actually put time and effort into their content. To have one dude come in and say that he's better than everybody, that's not going to stand with me, right? So, whether he gives him clicks and watches this at the third, I'm still going to let him know that, nah, bro, you're sorely mistaken, my friend. Anyway, Andrew, Vatsim, ZLA, Seattle, Portland.
Same
What's
difference.
up, buddy?
Same difference.
Welcome.
Yeah, so for y'all that don't know me, I'm an S2 in the Seattle AirTech, control any powered field in the airspace, so Seattle, Portland, mainly those two. So the question that Mamba I had, believe, was how do you handle aircraft not responding or following simple instructions? So for the aircraft not responding, it's pretty simple. We'll send them a contact me. If they don't respond, we'll send them another one. If it's like 2 or 3 contact me's, then we use our fancy dancy little command called a wallop, and that just gets the supervisor in it, and the supervisor will take care of that from there. Following simple instructions or not knowing how to fly a plane, or just a newer user with a 185 CID, it's we want to help them, but if they're just one of those pilots that don't want to accept the help or think they know what they're doing, or give us tell us we're wrong, or flaming the controller for trying to help, or because we had an instance where we had excuse my language, we had a guy sim rate I think 16 times into Seattle's airspace. And Mike, what are you doing?
I was messing with Lotto. I was messing with Lotto. I'm listening. I was just messing with Lotto.
No, you're good. You're good. But we had a guy sim rating 16 times into Seattle's airspace. Seattle Center tries to contact him, and the guy just responds with "fuck off, get a life."
On the network.
Yeah, on the network.
Oh my god, bro.
So that's when things like that. It's just for those type of pilots, we just use our wallop command and let the supervisors do what they want to do. But we become controllers to control and be the ATC side of Vatsim, but we also want to help pilots because we get a lot of pilots that don't know what they're doing. Like we can controllers, like we tend to study like CIDs. I don't know if you guys noticed, but all of your CIDs have a 1 5, 1 4, 1 3, 1 2, 1 6, 1 7. So the first two letters in your CID gives the controller a good representation of how new you are, how old you are to the network. So like right now, I think the newest CID is 185. So if we see a 185
Wow.
CID, we automatically go into it thinking, okay, we
I
want to
have?
help this pilot because they might necessarily not know what they're doing. So it's just all about trying to help, and if we can't, I mean, just let us supervise.
Yeah,
you
gosh,
with
my
it.
CID starts with 1 2 3.
Mine's
that's-
168.
So 1.6 is 2022. 1.2 I think is like 2017, 18.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask
In
a
that
stupid
range.
question here.
I've
What's
been
a
doing this
CID?
for 2 years.
So your CID, Jack, is your VATSIM ID number, basically. So it's the ID number that's next to your name. Everybody has one. It's assigned to you when you create your account and you get signed up for VATSIM. I think my full is 1 2 3 5 6 8 6, some shit like that. So I've been on for a while. If we're up into the 185s, 186s, that's pretty crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
1.8. It's right now. I think the newest is 1.85.
Wow.
So
101. Shadow said he's 101.
Shadow said 101. Wow.
101.
I'm shocked. I'm
101's like a
162.
lot of years ago. Yeah.
So I'm 172. What does that mean?
That means
Like
you started in
2023.
2023.
That means you don't know what you're doing.
Damn, CSC.
Zip
Oh,
is a
yes.
legend.
CIDs are definitely a big factor of how a controller is gonna, like how fast a controller talks to you, of how slow a controller talks to you, like the way they speak to you. It definitely plays a big role into it, just because we can see how new or old this user is. So
Sorry.
That's crazy, man. Because like I noticed
didn't
that
know
too.
that.
Because I've noticed that in like let's use Boston for an example. Boston RTC, in my opinion, is one of the best RTCs on the Vatsim network.
yeah, 100%.
I've noticed that when I key up, they'll talk to me with zero hesitation, right?
Yeah,
But if
exactly.
someone that might not sound as old as I am, or Lotto, or Jack, or Owls, or whoever, they'll slow down their transmission for them. That's crazy. I didn't know that the CID had something to do with that. That's pretty insane.
100% does, because
Yo, how
controllers
can
learn
I
it.
change my CID? Because I'm lost with these guys, man. I don't know how I'm doing.
I don't think you can change that. But yeah, it's mainly just we try to help as best we can. If we can, we can. It's like,
Well, at that point,
Pilots are
you're
gonna be
limited.
pilots.
You can only
Yeah.
It's like, what can you do? It's just you got to tie the knot at the end of the day, right? And I say this all the time.
Exactly.
I say this all the time on my channel. The best portion that Vatsim is integrated into their software is the remarks section. When I was new to the Vatsim network back in the day, in 2016, 17, whenever it was that I joined, I put in the remarks section, new to Vatsim, still learning. And that gave the controllers a bit of a notion. It's like, okay, he has somewhat of an idea of what he's doing. Obviously, I knew how to fly the plane. That's the biggest thing y'all need to do, is learn your plane before you go on the network. Every time I fly a new
100%.
plane, I do a one flight off the network by myself to learn it, to understand the computer and how to do things like holds or directs and this, that, the third. Just simple stuff that you need to be able to do on the network. Versus that, now you're new. Do not be afraid to ask a controller a question. These controllers are not here to be against you. They're here for you. Vatsim's literally, this is aviate, educate, and communicate, right? So the biggest role for Vatsim is to educate, right? So keep that in mind. Owls, I saw he had his hand up like he's in school or something. Let's go on, Owls.
No, you're just saying learn how to fly your plane on Vatsim. I was just advocating for that because nobody knows what they're doing in LA, especially.
Yeah,
So
it's like you have
Can
to
we-
know your
can we
equipment.
read some of these comments. I mean,
Yeah.
Lotto's looking spiffy. That hair, got the early '90s boy band cutting going on. This is not early '90s, bro. This is a fade.
you got that boy band.
Fade.
So yeah, and I have
For the
Micah
aura.
Messer in the chat. Micah Messer, who is a rated pilot as well. He says yes, use the remarks section. I agree. Micah
Yeah,
Messer
Zim
also,
needs to
yeah,
be.
that is very, very true. Micah Messer does have a full course on his YouTube channel on how to use Vatsim and what to expect when joining the network. So I'd highly recommend checking that out. It's very, very good
Yeah,
information.
there is a lot of resources. I mean, the supervisors have
Mike is-
resources, and
My apologies.
no,
I'm
you're
sorry,
good. Go
bro.
ahead, Lotto. No, go ahead.
No, please. I finish up. My apologies.
So yeah, the supervisors obviously have a whole bunch of resources you can use. Obviously, YouTube channels, Micah Messer, I believe, was one of them. The guy you said. Jonathan Beckett is really good if you want to learn how to fly a plane. He really good tutorials. For the learning how to do IFR, I think that's like the main thing new pilots struggle with is just the IFR stuff at the side. They can figure out how to get the airplane in the air. It's navigating with the autopilot and like learning IFR. When I joined Vatsim, I would 100% recommend starting your first flight like VFR and out of an airport with it's not busy with the tower controller on. Like do some pattern work just so you can get like that nervousness of talking to ATC out, and then you can start flying the IFR stuff, the airliners that are way more complex.
Yeah, because and
Oh, I had.
Go ahead, CST.
No, I was gonna say I was curious because I didn't even remember when I signed up for the Vatsim. My ID is 100.
Wow.
I signed up.
2011,
Yeah.
12.
Yeah, it's a long time, man.
I signed up in 2007.
Wow.
BC.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Are those first three numbers, or those a year designated?
The first three numbers, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and to kind of point out a couple of comments that I'm getting in my chat right now is Shadow Dark said something very, very cool here, and I want to touch on this here in just a second. But Captain Shaq also, Shaquille O'Neal's in the house. I haven't been able to say, hey, what's up to you, man? I hope you're doing well, buddy. He says, I will say there's many folks on the network who would have a number to call if they tried it in the real world. Yes, and that's kind of what we're getting at right now, is just the fact that you have to understand proper operations of your aircraft and procedures that the controller might ask you to do. The only time I have ever been asked to fly an established hold on an arrival is within New York or Boston RTC, right? So, and that's flying within FNOs into Boston, man. I was like number 40, right? So coming into the airport, and I had to fly a hold for a couple of hours, right? It was a long hold. So you have to be able to understand your aircraft and how to do that, right? So in the Airbus and the Boeing, you need to be able to understand how to fly a hold. You need to be able to understand how to fly direct to, or how to offset your arrival or whatever it might be to do that. And then Shadow said something that said, but then you do have the Vatsim controllers that think they're the FAA. Andrew, what do you think about that?
Those controllers are the controllers no controllers like. Plain and simple. Like, those are the controllers that just don't make it fun for other controllers, pilots. Like, if you want to be a liked controller on the network, you have to have that. Yes, you have to have that, like, realism aspect, but you also want to have a sense of humor. Like, if you're flying in an airspace that's absolutely slammed, I get it. Like, professionalism, you just want to get airplanes where they need to be, where they want to go, whatever. But if it's like, I don't know, 7 o'clock at night on a Thursday and there's a center controller online, like, you can probably, like, I would think, at least where I fly a lot, you can crack a joke on frequency and the center controller will.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You have to have a little bit of a personality as well.
Like CST, who are we flying into recently? Who are we flying into recently?
I'm sorry, I just saw CST put in.
What am I missing?
Nothing.
Same thing. I didn't get it.
I'm so confused here.
What were you saying, Mikey? I'm sorry. What were you saying? We're flying. No, hey, focus right here. Look at me.
For fuck's sake, man.
Look at me.
See, like, this is the shit I'm talking about here, chat. This is the bullshit. That's that bullshit.
AI is working
That's that
great.
bullshit. You know?
You didn't even see mine.
Hi, babe. Mama Mikey's home. Y'all better be careful.
Listen, bro.
So-
I'll tell you right
Anyways,
now.
what were you saying? What we were flying into? When
I
are you
think
talking about?
we were flying into Tirana, if I'm not mistaken, into Albania, and that controller was actually very, very cool. You know,
We're talking about Turkey.
no.
We're talking about Turkey. He was in Turkey.
My controller experience has always been good. I never really ran into.
Okay, time out. Chat, calm down.
You
It's
got
not that funny.
1000,
It's not that
bro.
funny, chat. It's not that funny.
that funny. Oh
pretty
my
funny.
god.
I mean, it is pretty funny, but
I'm just kidding.
Contact.
It's all good. It's all good. New
So you
contact image on a
contact
phone. All right,
Um,
Shadow. All right.
I never really had. I mean, I wouldn't call it negative. Some people make mistakes, right? That's what's cool about the Vatsim, right?
Guys, Mama
Because
Mikey wants
if
to
you
say
want,
hi.
if you want, hello, Mama Mikey.
We're on the podcast.
If you want to have a perfect controller and a perfect flight, controlled experience, then and you want to take the human aspect out of it, then go get Beyond ATC, go get all sane tensions. There's AI software out there, and you can be lonely by yourself, flying your little plane and talking to a fake ATC all day long, right? But if you want that human factor, which is what makes the immersion, what makes everything more realistic, I think Vatsim, or even Palo ATC, Vatsim, Vaio, there's different, right? Obviously, Vatsim is the most popular one that everybody uses, but that's what you need, right? You need that human experience, right? So I wouldn't say that I've had negative experiences with cocky controllers or anything else. But at the same time, I think that now I probably know that that's probably because my number starts with 100. So they're like, okay, cool. He knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, same.
I had no idea. But I've had experiences where ATCs will tell you something, right? They'll say, okay, do this, then the other. You, as the pilot, if you can't do a certain thing, you need to be able to tell them, like, I'm sorry that unable, I can't do that. You need to put me in a hold, or you need to extend my downwind. Those are the things that you need to do. But when you are a pilot, and there's a few of them, let's even in our chats, right? There's a few of them that you're at 20,000 feet and they tell you to send to 6,000, and next thing you know, you're doing, a 50-degree nose down dive, right? And you're just sending a Mach 8, right? That's you, right? And then when the ATC tells you, hey buddy, you're doing 365 knots below 10,000 feet. What are you doing, right? That's the kind of stuff that you can't blame the controller because he told you to descend. Well, you said I had to descend. Yeah, well, you still need to follow the damn rules.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think
you know what you need to do, right?
I don't think they're talking about the controllers that get stern with pilots when they're making egregious mistakes on the network, like flying 300 plus knots under 10,000 feet, right? I think they're talking about the controllers that just take the role that they have entirely too seriously and talk down to the pilots that might be relatively new to the network. I think that's kind of what's being commented on
I
right
can
now.
tell you, well, yeah, the new to the network, yeah, they can do that to that guy. I guarantee you they ain't gonna do it to me.
No, 100%. And I'm on that train with you, CST. I have called out Vatsim controllers myself on the network. I've even called out a controller for being rude to a pilot who was just doing what he was asking to do. He's like, he told me to turn left 100. I'm left heading 100. What are you asking? Well, I told you to do it 10 miles. And I got on there. I was like, dude, the guy's doing it. What do you need him to do? Just give him instructions. I want to sit here and have an argument. You guys have an argument on the network while you have 30 other airplanes that are trying to land to this airfield right now. Just do it. Ask him to do something. And if you got to talk to him via DM it. That's all you got to do, right? So when it comes down to, for me personally, and this has been my stance on Vatsim the entire time, just because you are a controller on the Vatsim network, and Andrew, I don't mean any offense to this, does not mean you're royalty to the flight sim community, right? You are a Vatsim controller, just like I am a quote-unquote virtual pilot, if you would. Just because my CID starts for 123 does not mean that I absolutely know everything that I need to do, right? There are still things in the airplane 100%. That I probably don't know how to do, right? So, I mean, Owls is the one who taught me how to do range arcs around the airport. I had no idea that was a thing, right?
Yeah, so, exactly. Let me touch on this real quick. Controllers, they make mistakes too. We aren't perfect.
Yeah.
Like, we go through a lot of training to be able to get our ratings, but like I was controlling tower earlier today and I made a mistake on a VFR Bravo transition. Like, it happens. Like, controllers can't say that we are perfect because none of us are. We all make mistakes. No matter if it's super minute or super massive, and you crash an airplane into a mountain. And it's happened before. It happened last week actually in Seattle. He accidentally crashed an airplane into Mount Rainier. Not lying on that.
Oh boy.
But
this is in the sim, right?
Yeah, it was in the sim.
Okay.
Yes.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we didn't hear.
We didn't hear about this with the NTSB.
I was about to say I didn't hear about this.
Well, hey, look, guys, the thing with the controller is, as a flight sim pilot, right? Even as a pilot, I would venture to say, right? And we got CFI in the chat. He can correct me if I'm wrong. When a controller tells you something, it shouldn't be news to you as a pilot, right? You already know all this stuff. You already did your flight plan. You reviewed your charts. You know what arrival you're running. You know what runway to expect. So when the when the ATC says, "Okay, we got you ready to contact, descend, across this waypoint at this altitude, this speed, expect ILS approach runway 25 left," you shouldn't even have to write the shit down because you should have already known. You should have planned for it because you read the ATIS. You know exactly what runways are open. You know where you're coming in. You know your arrival. You already know it. You know what ILS to expect because it's written on the ATIS. So whenever I hear an ATC give a pilot instructions, right? Because they're not telling a pilot what to do and how to do it. They're just saying, hey, this is what you need to be expecting, right? They're not telling the pilot how to fly the plane. They're saying, hey, you need to descend via this arrival and you need to expect this runway. That's it. They're not telling them, hey, I need you to descend at this rate, whatever. They might slow you down for spacing and stuff like that. Or they might tell you to go lower because of traffic, but that's the only occasion.
Yeah.
But they're not going to tell you how to fly your plane. So the point I'm trying to make is anytime an ATC says something, even if it's initial flight plan, right? When they're giving you clearance, you should know that stuff
Yeah.
already. The only
Yeah, I
thing that
agree.
you don't know, the only one thing you're not going to know is your squad code because that's not written anywhere. He's going to give it to you. Everything else, you should already know.
Yeah, your
That's what you
departure,
plan for. You say,
initial altitude,
okay, I'm departing.
etc.
I'm doing this departure,
The
initial
charts are for.
altitude. This is what the chart says, right? That's
Mhm.
my initial altitude. So there should be no surprise to you. So whenever I see a pilot that can't do a simple readback, that only tells me that they don't know what the hell they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Because all the shit you should. Oh, can you repeat that first regular vector? It's on your chart, buddy. Why does it need to repeat it for you?
Yeah.
Go look it up.
Well, Mark,
Right? So-
I want to jump down to you, buddy, because obviously you've been on Vatsim for a while as well. If I heard correctly, your CID also starts with 100, correct? So I think me, you, and CST have been on the network for a very, very long time. I think over 10 years, all of us, right? So I want to get your opinion on this because I've seen you fly on stream and you've also flown with me. And, you know, although you might have different accents sometimes, you still do what you're supposed to do. So to preface this, guys, for everybody that is getting into VATSIM, and I'm going to get into Mark's opinion here, you have to understand that there are two major gears that need to turn together for this to work out, right? There's you, and then there's a controller. If your gear is not intertwining with the controller, it's just going to break, and it's going to turn into a disaster. So you need to make sure that you, as the pilot, are 100% aware of the route that you are flying, the departure you are flying, the altitudes that you are going to expect to get as an initial altitude on your departure clearance, and know your frequencies. Guys, VATSIM literally uses the frequencies from the charts. So your tower frequency is on the chart. You don't have to look into your vPilot client to get the tower frequency. You can look at your chart. If you're flying into Vegas, know that your tower frequency is going to be 19.9. That's just how have it
Same
pre-programmed.
with Seattle.
Yeah, exactly. Be ahead of all you.
as well.
I say it all the time. Be ahead of the airplane and potentially be ahead of the controller, but don't get too ahead of controller because sometimes that can turn into an issue. Because you start doing things that the controller's not expecting you to do, and then it's going to throw them off. There's going to be confusion there, etc. So just make sure what CST is saying, what I've been saying, what everybody has been saying. Know your airplane, know procedures, and understand what to expect when you hit log on and connect to the network. But Mark, I want to get your opinion on when it comes to flying on VATSIM and your opinion versus controllers and what pilots need to expect and what controllers should expect in this, that, the third.
Yeah. So I think it's twofold. You know, sometimes controllers are having a bad day because they do have those ones and twosies that are just holding up the conga line or just holding up the traffic flow. But the second time, you know, again, back to the individual VATSIM user, you know, you do have those kids that have come out, you know, they say they're 13, they're 10 years old, but VATSIM is not that hard. If you can't tune the frequency that quick, you can literally click on the frequency and auto tune it. Second thing is, I think the biggest thing is the the, how do you want to say it? Tying up the ATC lines. You know, when people are trying to land and all that. Um, I hear it quite often. I've been on VATSIM for about, like I said, over 10 years. I started off with a 100 number. I think I'm like 130 now. But what gets me the most, what grinds my gears the most is, hey, what runway do I need to expect? Double tap the ATIS. It'll literally lay everything out for you. It'll lay it out for you. Um, Small things like that can go a long way to helping keep the airways in terms of voice chatter down to a minimum. Like Mikey said, like CST said, stay ahead of the ATC. You know what you're expecting. Actually, before you take off, go through your entire checklist of looking and say, hey, okay, I'm departing on this runway. I'm going to expect this runway. If it changes, I'm going to have to retune this, and this. It's not that hard, especially once you get close to airfield, in controlled airspace, especially in F&O events. If you are not comfortable, if you're not like 100% comfortable flying the F&O, don't fly in the F&O. These controllers are volunteering their time, after they get off work, it's 5, 6 o'clock at night, and you come on, hey, what runway am I expecting? There are 200 other aircraft, especially in like New York, Boston, LA, Miami, for that matter. When you're coming on asking what runway to expect, and you have all these tools available to you, like VAT Spy or VAT Client, all this stuff, um, do yourself a favor, help the controller help you, so that you can make your stream and your flight experience more smooth.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, by the way, your Sim CFI had a couple of really good comments in here. He said, "Controllers being mean, realistic."
Yeah, yeah. And
Referencing real life. Hang on, Mike. One more
Go ahead.
thing. And he also says he thinks the stress of the job gets let out on people that say again. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's
With you.
100% true.
With you.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. Pilots that clog frequencies, we just take it out on them sometimes. Like over to the dark side, it pisses controllers off. Like there's no need to say it.
Oops.
Yeah, I was looking at you.
Oops.
But
Guilty.
no, like
I've said it.
You
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen now? I'm gonna say this shit every time.
Yep.
Nah. But no, clogging frequencies, Syrian's a bot literally. But no, clogging frequencies, saying things that just don't need to be said, it does make the controller a little pissed off, especially if they're working a good amount of traffic, like in a Tracon or a center. Like they're already working possibly 30 to 40 planes,
Yeah.
just depending on how busy it is. And saying things you don't need to say on a frequency, it takes their time away from doing what other pilots need to do. And yeah, it just clogs frequencies, and no one likes the clog
Yeah.
frequency type of things.
And I'll tell you guys just to because I want to get to Lotto and Owls as well, because they fly on Vatsim on a regular basis as well. Again, guys, I think and Andrew can attest to this. I think the biggest thing that us as flight simmers have to understand is how to read a chart. It's just the biggest thing. Charts are going to be massive. Charts will set you up for success with Vatsim, because the chart will tell you exactly what ATC is going to tell you. If you fly a missed approach, and the controller says, all right, fly established, and you don't know what that means, you're fucked. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, know your charts. Know ground procedures as well. Understand spot numbers, right? I love it when tower or ground controllers get online. I love that you know the spot numbers of this airport and you called incorrectly. So like in Vegas, we have spot numbers outside of the terminals, right? So it's a non-movement area, or it's a movement area within the terminal. So you can push back at your discretion and taxi up to your spot number, as long as you do not taxi past that onto an active taxiway without clearance, right? So when I call up in Vegas, I already know, hey, Vegas ground, it's Delta 1223 with information November spot 15 ready to taxi. And they know exactly where you are at the airfield now. They don't have to look at their scope and try and find your call sign. They know where spot 15 is. So understand that. Those are all massive things with your charts. You have to be able to read that stuff, right?
Shaq, he's liking that.
Yeah.
I like to chime in on that. And again, like if you're new to VATSIM, fly where you're comfortable at. Don't try to fly where you see a mainstream streamer, or what you see.
Don't be like me.
Don't be that guy.
I
don't go to Boston or LA.
I started off in a Vatsim event in Atlanta. I got kicked off the network.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For me, my route when I started was Memphis to Nashville. Something simple, quick, get in and get out. Memphis wasn't that popular back then, but brevity on the network will do you a lot of justice.
Yeah, mine was Vegas Phoenix. Vegas Phoenix was the route that I flew when I first started out.
Join the network and joining as an observer.
Atlanta, Jacksonville.
Listen, kind of understand what's going on. Like you said, I joke around, be like, Air China, this, and that. But I know what I'm doing. I'm just adding a little flair with the ATC, trying to get them to lighten up their day. But I'm not doing it to the extent where they're, kind of pissed at me. But find that sweet route where it's short, sweet, where nothing's gonna really change. Don't fly in LA. Don't do the Vegas to LA. That's a mainstream route. You're gonna have controllers galore. That changes a lot.
Guilty as charged.
Find something that's not too heavy. That you can get to point A to point B real quick.
Yeah, although Portland's a really good one. It's like a 30-minute flight. You go up to 17,000. not that busy. There might be a tower controller on, but you're not going to find a lot.
Yeah, and these are all things that are going to set you guys up for success. I'm going to let Jack kind of pedal into this. The biggest thing with aviation, guys, is set yourself up for success. And I've said this 1,000 times on my channel before. I will continue to say it. The biggest lesson that my flight instructor taught me was not even how to fly the plane, not even what to do on the ground or what to do in the air. It was one thing that he said to me: stay ahead of the airplane. Fly the damn airplane. Do not aviate first. Fly your airplane, right? Because if you don't fly the airplane and you allow the plane to fly you, it's a disaster waiting to happen. So make sure you know your equipment. That is the biggest thing with Vatsim, is know your equipment. I hear it all the time on the network. It seems like you don't know how to fly your plane, so unfortunately, I'm just going to have to ask you to disconnect, learn your plane a little bit more, and then come back and see us, and we'll help you out, right?
That's good.
So
yeah, that's good. I've got a question specifically for Andrew too. Now, as I said and alluded to earlier, I like to fly for fun. I don't follow the real world necessarily, real flights like Mike and CST and Al's do more so often. I like to pick a place, and normally my streams are right around 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So I like to keep them kind of in that general range. So does Vatsim overall mind that you may be flying a United flight from point A to point B that isn't necessarily a real commercial route? Is a real commercial route something that is super important?
No, not at all. I mean, we get
CST shaking his head too.
yeah, no, we get commercial routes to the most random places possible. And it's not even just the routes. It's like we have planes that fly commercially that like they're on commercial aircraft. Like the other day I had a 172 depart to, I think it was like Reading, with a full-on IFR flight plan. Said he was like connected as in Alaska, like ASA, and then was a Cessna 172.
Alaska Cessna 172. Nice.
Yeah, we get Southwest A320s all the time. It's not a big
Ew.
deal at all. People don't controllers don't think anything of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
Well, that was something I wondered, because I like to fly to airports sometimes, like Huntington, West Virginia, to Birmingham, Alabama. You don't necessarily see that on a a for real thing. So that answers that question for me. Thank you. And I appreciate you guys, you and Mark, being here tonight. We talked about World Flight. We talked about the dates, November 2nd through November 9th earlier. We're coming up towards, let's see, what time is it? 9:51 Mountain Time. So we're coming up on 3 hours. Should we go around the horn and start wrapping up and see what everybody's got going on? And
entirely up to you guys. We've still got 41 people in the chat that are asking questions and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys want to go for another 20 minutes, we can. If not, we want
I
to call
think
it a day. By all
why don't
means.
we take questions? Take questions.
Yeah.
from
Oh
the
yeah,
chat.
yeah. Let's open up the chat. Let's take some questions, and I'll Jack, if you want, I'll kind of take the reins on the chat questions, and I'll.
I have a question
So-
right here. Alzfs
Yeah.
said, "Why is Lotto looking like?" What are you talking about,
Yeah,
Brian?
bro,
Never
Lotto,
said
I'm not
that.
gonna lie. I saw a chat that said Lotto looking like a Giga Chad right now, bro. I was like- So, guys, for chat questions, we're gonna open up the floor to you guys for. We'll go until we see, I guess until everybody's done, whatever. So if you're gonna ask a question, chat, please make sure you ask the question. Make sure it's a legitimate question. Don't sit here and troll.
Can I
right?
add
Don't be
something
like
on the
Mark.
Vatsim
How
thing?
about that? Don't be like Mark.
Hold on, just 1 second. When you ask your question in the chat, make sure you ask the question, and please make sure you say who it is directed to.
Can I ask a Vatsim
Oh, that's a good one from
question?
Zem. Let me answer
Or
that
not
one
a
on Zem.
Vatsim question, but can I add something on the Vatsim stuff?
Sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So my first flight was LA to Vegas on Vatsim, right? It took 8 hours, but it didn't take 8 hours. The flight was only one, to get the Airbus, on the ground, turned on and all that was about 30 minutes, right? So it was, let's say, all in all, an hour and a half. The reason why it was 8 hours is I sat there for 6.5 hours, right? Just listening. What's going on? What is Tower talking about? And then I flew that flight as an observer. So that's the thing is I didn't go and fly into it. I mimicked it, how I would say it, what they would say. There was an airplane in front of me that got clearance. I'm the one that acted like I got the clearance to practice it out, right? Or if somebody's newer in the chat or younger, right? Live ATC's been around since 2003, right? listen to live ATC. You can listen to TRACONs now. You can listen to center. You can listen to tower, ground, clearance, delivery. So you'll hear how real pilots are saying it. And now you can be able to go, okay, I get an understanding on this. If you put 1 hour into it, guess what? I promise you're going to become better because of it.
100%.
Alrighty.
Observe.
Observe, yeah, big time. The observer role is massive in Vatsim. So, Andrew, I got a 2-part for you. It's from 2 different people, but they kind of intertwine with one another. Zemp says, what do you think or thoughts on shared cockpit on Vatsim? And then Pitchy, I'm going to add it to this question as well, says, how do controllers feel about having big streamers and massive conga lines in their airspace?
Shared cockpit, not that big of a deal. I mean, it's actually way more common than you'd think it is. We can see the observer pilots that are connected with on our frequency, and to know it's a shared cockpit, it would just be like, I'm sure you guys have done it. Like you connected be Alaska 520 and then Alaska 520 Alpha. So we can see like who's shared cockpit, and then obviously if the voice changes, we don't really think anything of it. The only time shared cockpit can get annoying is when like it disconnects, and then you have a random pilot that is going 20 knots at 30,000 feet, and then kind of don't know what's happening there because just internet issues. But other than that, it's no one really thinks of it.
Okay, cool.
What was the other one?
It says, how do controllers feel about having big streamers with massive conga lines in their airspace?
So, for one, certain controllers, I'm not going to name names, they don't get service from air traffic controllers because they have reputations. But other than that, like if it's like Owls or XP72, Mike, like you guys, like there's controllers gossip. We know who the streamers are. We know who brings conga lines. We know whose pilots are good. We call the pilots that fly with you guys minions. We know we don't know who, we know what streamers have good pilots that fly along with them. We know which ones have bad ones. We know which streamers are bad. So it just like depends on who the streamer is. It's flying out of your airspace within the time of who.
That makes sense, and I kind of want to piggyback into that because I see this all the time in my stream. I don't know if CST and Owls can attest to this or Mark, but I'll be flying in an airspace and I have 0 of my YouTube information on my Vatsim network because I don't promote my YouTube on Vatsim because the last time that I did it, I had a pilot ask me on Unicom, hey, what's your YouTube? And I posted the link in the chat, and then a supervisor messaged me saying, hey, don't do that. So I don't do it. So how do these controllers find these YouTubers? Because I've seen many times, like just the other night, I had a controller, hey, I was your ground controller. Nice of you to fly in. I was like, how the hell did you find me, bro?
Just word gets around. I mean,
word gets around.
Controllers talk. They talk about like there's group chats, there's special channels in the Bat USA Discord that pilots that don't have like the controller role can see, and there's streamers on there that we talk about, and we throw links up to their streams and like, hey, this pilot's good. If you ever see him flying out of your airspace, like you can go and staff him up. He's got good pilots that fly with him. The same like without. So
awesome.
The word just gets around like who the controller, like who streamers are that controllers like.
Cool. I got another question for Andrew. It's from Captain Crystal. Captain Crystal, hope you're doing well. Appreciate you stopping. Oh, Nabil is here as well. Another Wings for Hope member. Nabil, appreciate you, man. So thanks for stopping in. And I saw that I got gifted a membership into your channel today. I appreciate that, man.
He's
Thank
Wings
you.
from Hope?
With Nabil, yeah, he's Wings for Hope. Yes, he will be there.
He's flying all the way out. Damn.
Yeah, like CST was saying, there's a lot of people that are spending a lot of money to be a part of this event because of the cause, So Nabil's coming all the way from Europe to fly with Wings for Hope. It's going to be awesome, man. So Captain Crystal says, Andrew, how should us pilots react to other pilots not making radio calls on that network?
So if it's like CTAF, the one thing I really like about the new CTAF trial with Vatsim, in the US division at least, pilots are now, when they're tuned to a CTAF frequency, they are now able to use the wallop command. So pilots can now wallop other aircraft.
What does that mean?
That aren't wallop. It just pretty much lets a supervisor know that there's someone breaking the rules or not doing something you want them to do.
Snitches getting stitches.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mark. Yeah. So basically, the dot wallop command, Jack, is for you to get in contact with the supervisor so you can let them know if someone's acting a fool on the network.
Pretty much, yeah. And then there's that, and then what was the rest of the question? I lost it.
How should us pilots react to other pilots not making radio calls on the network?
try messaging them. Like you can just private message them. You just in your pilot client do .msg space their call sign and then whatever you want to say to them. If they
that's
don't
awesome.
respond, then you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't even know about that.
Nice voice crack.
thank you, Alex.
For me,
recovering
guys,
from a lost voice.
yeah, for me, guys, I don't know if Andrew can put this, and I'll if anybody else wants to comment. By all means, let's kind of keep it short. For me, if you see someone that's not making radio calls, either A, message them privately, B, call them on the frequency, say, hey, where are you at? You're not making any calls. I need to know what's going on. This, that, the third. And that for me, if those two they don't respond to those two, then it's just a dot wallop. Just say, hey, I've got someone in the airspace that's not making radio calls and is interfering with traffic. And if anybody wants to segue into that, they can. But I also have another question that is a question for all. And let's do this. This is a good question. Let's go through the entire panel. Give one or two options and then just call it there. It says, question for all. I don't want to build a new PC, but need one badly. What are some good builders without overspending, scam, quality boards, parts, etc.? This is from Golf Kilo 4. For me personally, my top recommendation of pre-built PCs is MSI. I swear by MSI computers. I've had one for 6 years now, and they're phenomenal builds. They're upgradable. So, that's MSI is who I recommend personally. Jack?
Yeah, I just built my PC from parts from Micro Center. They had a really good deal on a bundle. So, if you're able to go ahead and build one, you might find some really, really great value. But if you don't have those skills, I agree with Mike. MSI is a real good bet. I also have some friends who own Power Specs. Now, overall, not sure how the rest of the panel might feel about that, but Power Specs seems to be a good bet and has some good PCs that are set for flight simming. So there you go from me.
All right. CST, what do you recommend for pre-built PCs if someone's just looking to buy something out the box that they can fly on the sim?
I don't.
Yeah, to be honest with you guys, you're going to have people that don't recommend pre-built PCs because sometimes the builds are not the best quality. And I am attest to that. I don't recommend CyberPower for personal reasons.
If you buy a pre-built PC, you want to make sure that you do it from reputable companies. You can go to like our Fly Volato sponsor, Corsair.
Corsair.
Safe bet to go to Corsair website, but when you do that, though, you're spending just as much as you would if you was to pick out better components and build it yourself. So what's the point? I would say if you're spending $1,500 on a pre-built PC, that $1,500, if you build it yourself, will get you so much more. It's not even funny. So I will never recommend a pre-built PC. Never. If you have the know-how or if you have a friend that knows how, and if you don't, there's people in my Discord that know how. Come talk to us, man. We'll help you out. We'll get you going. We'll build. I mean, we just Turbo. We just got done building a PC with Turbo. He's got 2 monster PCs that he built. Like the guy couldn't get enough. He built a second one. So myself as well. I got I've been building PCs for a long time, but it's always been under the direction of a good friend, buddy of mine that I grew up with. Pretty much, he's a huge PC geek. So whenever I need something, I call him. Like, hey man. Sure, let's do it. So my best advice is stay the hell away from pre-built PCs because no matter what's on the surface, it might be a cool looking case or it might be a nice 4070 Ti. They skimp out on a lot of components, right? Instead of giving you the ROG Strix cards, they'll give you the Pony 4070 Ti, right? There is a huge difference, believe it or not, right? The components that those cards and those chips and everything else is built with is much lower quality than you was if you go and get a legitimate company, Corsair, Nvidia, all that good stuff, right? So Asus motherboards instead of pick a Chinese name, right? That's all I'm saying. So save your money. If you don't have enough money, save up, man. Just wait a little bit longer and build yourself a nice computer rather than going the pre-built route and having to suffer the consequences of trying to work with the warranties because it's going to happen. It is going to happen with a pre-built, especially if you go and buy. Do not go buy a pre-built at Best Buy. Don't ever don't ever
Well,
go to
Great
Best
work at
Buy
Best
and buy
Buy.
a
Time out.
PC.
Great
Right?
work.
Time out.
Ever.
Okay, time
no,
out.
no, don't time out nothing, dude. Don't time out nothing.
I bought my
Do
PC from
not-
Best Buy.
Do
Okay.
not buy a pre-built from Best
Time
Buy.
out.
Thoughts on
For the
pre-builts
same
at
amount of
Costco?
money that you buy a pre-built at Best Buy or Costco or anywhere else for that nature. If you want to get a pre-built, you want to get a computer built for you, go to
NZXT.
or the what's the center called? Guys, help me out. The
Micro Center.
I'm blanking out.
Micro Center.
Go to Micro Center, pick
Yeah.
out your component. They'll build it
There you
for
go.
you.
There you go.
Right?
Yo, why is
they-
Turbo
okay,
on
don't-
here? Now? What the hell?
Don't
Okay,
buy
well-
don't buy pre-builds.
Unfortunately,
pre-builds.
unfortunately, and I'm unfortunately a victim to this. Micro Center is not everywhere in the U.S., so
Yeah,
I don't have a
I'm a
Micro
victim
Center
too.
here in
That's true.
Vegas. Unfortunately, well, I would love to
That's a
have
rip.
one. Trust me, but
Okay.
personally-
They got a website, buddy.
okay. Personally, I bought my computer from Best Buy. I had zero issues. It was direct from consumer though. It was direct to consumer though. I did not purchase a built computer by Best Buy or Geek Squad. I bought the computer. It was direct to consumer from MSI. MSI has phenomenal computers. CJ just bought an MSI computer under my recommendation. He's had zero issues with it. So it's all up to personal preference, guys. Do I recommend building your own? Yeah. Have I built my own? No, because I don't know how to do it. Right. Have I upgraded my own PC? Yes. I've installed a motherboard. I've done the processor. I've done the graphics card. Yes. I've upgraded all the stuff.
Then you built one.
I'm not
Pretty much
saying-
building one.
Look,
I will add.
I'm not saying
I will add.
I'm not saying you're gonna 100% have issues. You might get you might get lucky and not have issues for a while, right? All I'm saying is the other portion that I was trying to explain you is you're gonna get more for your money if you build your own PC rather than go pay for a pre-built one of lesser quality. That's all I'm saying. It's always going to be lesser quality. They're always going to skimp out on memory. Memory is the first thing they skimp out on. They're not going to give you the good memory. They're going to give you the flashy LED memory that runs worth the crap, right? So you buy a pre-built. Next thing you know, you're going to have to change the memory. You're going to have to update something. What's the point, right? You might as well just go build it yourself. Get the best products that you can get for your money rather than buying something
Yeah.
in a closed box that you
No,
really don't know what's in,
It
right?
makes sense. Golf Kilo 4 just
in
said,
my
I'm looking for
opinion-
a good custom builder, not necessarily. I'll get to you, Lotto. I'm going to come to you right after this. Says, I'm looking for a good custom builder, not necessarily a pre-built, I guess. Okay, that makes more sense. Well, if you're looking for a custom builder, NZXT does custom builds, and so does Micro Center. So those would be your two best options to do custom built PCs if you want someone to build it your own. Or you can find a local PC shop within your town. I know a mom and pop shop here in Vegas that does phenomenal work on computers, which I've brought mine a couple times too, to have some like I just had Windows reinstalled and my hard drive completely wiped by them, and they do awesome work. So just find a local mom and pop shop. If not, if you're just looking for and see if they do builds for you. If not, reputable companies like NZXT or Micro Center will probably be your best bet. Or who was that company at the expo? I don't remember who that company at the expo was.
I don't remember that company, but another good company, a little on the expensive side, is Jetline Systems.
Jetlines, yeah, Jetlines, yeah.
They actually
Those are all
build-
expensive, buddies.
Yeah.
Those are expensive buddies. But back to Bello's point, even Micro Center has pre-built PCs to where if something breaks, something goes defective, they will take that computer back from you. They will either fix it, give you replacement parts, or something of that nature.
Absolutely.
See, I would say do that before you go to Best Buy or anywhere else, because after a certain amount of time, Best Buy will tell you, sorry, you need to go talk to your warranty, right? And you got to ship your stuff somewhere else to get fixed.
Mm,
Micro Center will always assist you as long as you have a warranty on your PC.
yeah. Lotto, you wanted to comment on
Pre-built.
something?
Pre-builds, I agree with CFT. Pre-builds are an issue when it comes to they're not as good, right, as something that you build your own, you know. But that was 2019. In 2024, companies have realized that, you know what, in order to keep marketing, you know, it's not the parts that matter the most. That's where you're going to get a little bit cheaper. But utilizing now, you can put a PC that, you know, CST or Captain BIOS can build right now with all the great components. And, you know, I know they made a joke about Corsair, but Corsair will have that, right? And you know what? Even, you know, the power spec that I have, I have a, you know, older computer, 3 years old. To me, it's like one of the best PCs I've ever had, but I don't know PCs, right? So for somebody that doesn't understand how to, you know, build a PC or maybe how to even work the parts, right? It's a great opportunity because a lot of these, you know, a lot of these bigger PC companies are starting to realize that people do want to game and do want to sim in a PC, right? So they're making these pre-builds extremely like, powerful, with the right parts. He's right. There is some companies that are going to CSD is completely correct. Your motherboard's going to be crap, but everything else is great.
Yeah.
Or your memory is going to be he's right about that part. But if you go to a company that's well known, these are the ones that are actually putting more of an
Yeah.
effort to give you the best parts. It's not about GPU anymore. It's about the smaller things, like, hey, what power outage are you
Yeah.
using? What kind of motherboard are you using, right? Because it could be one from China and it's not as good. So you might have all the fancy 4090s and 4070 and 4080s, but it's not going to do anything.
It's not going to go up to its potential, right? Yeah.
Right. But companies are stepping up, and I notice it. Like I do. Yeah. I'm going to get a sponsorship with Corsair. I don't have it, so I appreciate you saying that. But I
Brought to
see
you
the
by
type of, like, the more I'm learning about
Corsair.
PCs, the more I'm learning not only Corsair, but like even Micro Center, right? Because now I went in there, I couldn't believe the pre-builds that they have in there. I'm like, holy crap, those are some great parts. And for a solid price, it's like pretty even now.
Yeah.
Back in 2020, it was like, here's a pre-build with the same parts as you build your own. But now it's like, it's caught up.
Yeah, because when I bought my computer from MSI, it was all MSI components, MSI motherboard, MSI graphics card, all that. So it's just got to be the only companies that I stay away from, that I've steered away from when it comes to looking at custom pre-built computers, is iBuyPower and CyberPower. I don't recommend them because I've heard nothing but issues from them. Anyway, Andrew, my guy, dude, coming in with 5 gifted memberships, my man. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Massive W's in the chat for you, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
W,
I just celebrated 10 months as a member, paid out of my pocket, by the way, and you're just
Damn,
sitting here
Andrew.
farming, right? That's crazy, bro.
Damn,
That's crazy.
Andrew, you couldn't have done that
That's crazy,
yesterday. I
dog.
just renewed
That's
yesterday.
crazy.
Man.
25,000 subs. You can't buy a membership with one of your good buddies. That's crazy.
Yeah, I forgot to renew, man.
All right, that woke him up though. I was
Hey,
falling asleep. That woke him up.
Yeah.
No, sorry. To be fair, my friends were posting their homecoming pictures, so I was just saying.
Let's see. What other questions do we have? Again, guys, we're kind of just taking questions from the chat. If you wish to
There's
ask a
another
question,
one.
just make sure you.
Turbo made a great comment. Lotto, your hair is freaking amazing.
Oh my Lord, have mercy. Yeah.
I've got a couple of comments here from
Go ahead, Jack.
your CFI. Yeah, definitely with CST on that. He says he's had 3 own build and 1 pre-build. He said it was a bad experience. He's never going to buy pre-build again. Aviation is the best. Says CST is correct. CST, you're getting a lot of corrects there, buddy. I have an issue with my PC. Took it to Best Buy, and they say go talk to the manufacturer. And then CFI says, again, I was 16, watched 2 videos and built along with one, easier than you think. And I do have one more question from Turbo. Turbo said, and Andrew, this is probably for you. Controller said that controllers don't like it when you say over to the dark side. And I don't know what that means, so you can enlighten me.
Over the dark side just means like over to Unicom. It's just a pet peeve a lot of controllers have. Like,
It's what I
don't
say
know.
every time I go to Unicom. Every single time I say it.
I don't know why controllers hate it. I genuinely don't know why. It just pisses a lot of them off, especially the radar controllers. Like, I don't care. Like, do whatever you want. But I genuinely do not know why controllers don't like it. It just is a major pet peeve of theirs.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Mike, you got anything else in there?
We're looking. Micah said he's going to bed, so Micah Messer, appreciate you, man. I know Micah also said he'd be interested in coming on and being a panelist here on the podcast, so we'll definitely have to get you online. Nabil is coming with a business class membership. Nabil, really do appreciate that. Massive W's in the chat for you, buddy. Thank you, guys. It's been a pretty successful podcast tonight. We've been consistently about 40 viewers plus the 10 over at Captain Jack's channel, so 50 plus people watching, man. Absolutely insane. Really do appreciate you guys. But again, guys, we are kind of just taking questions right now. If no one else has questions, we could probably wrap it up here. Hold on, I'm just looking. Golf Kilo 4 says, thanks for all the answers. No need to pass that on, but thanks for taking the question. Much appreciated. Anytime, Golf Kilo 4, that's why we're here. This is what I love about panelists and what I call, or what is called debating with people is, we might have different opinions, but at the end of the day, I think getting all these difference in opinions and getting difference will ultimately give you the ability to form a good opinion on your own with all of our experience in the background, right? Because you have a lot of things to take into consideration. CST doesn't like pre-builds. I personally don't mind them. But at the end of the day, you find something in between. You either build your own or you don't. And one's going to be wrong, one's going to be right. Do I want to build my own PC? Absolutely. That's on my list for within the next 12 months. I'm going to be building my own PC and hopefully upgrading to have a NASA computer in my house, hopefully at some point. But yeah, man. Do appreciate you guys all being here and hanging out with us. Again, if you guys have questions, make sure you ask them in the chat and direct them, and please post who you're directing them to so we can direct that question in to their way. But if not, I mean, we've been going, gosh, 3 hours and 13 minutes, man. This has been the longest podcast we've done so far. It's been pretty crazy.
I have a question from Chalmo. What hair gel do you use?
Oh my God, bro! Fucking Christ!
It's the truth. I mean, you said we're answering you said questions, right? I'm trying to please the chat over here, Mike.
Mike, let me know if something else comes up.
Yeah.
But Mark and Andrew, thank you so much. Mark, any parting words? And you want to give a little promo again for the Wings of Hope World Flight?
Yeah, Wings for Hope. We'll start our streams 1 November through the 9th of November. 24-hour stream again. Some big content creators: Captain Canada, Midnight Maverick, Mr. CST Gaming, Mickey Mike, to name a few. No Bill Games. Just join us, support our great cause, and look to have you there.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark, thanks for being here. Andrew, appreciate you so much. Guys, don't forget to check out Shrek 24,000, Andrew's channel on Twitch. And Andrew, thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for your input, and we'll look forward to having you again, man.
No, yeah, for sure. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. We really do need to try to maybe hit this a little more often. We've had several comments to that.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of comments about the consistency of this podcast and how it needs to kind of go up a little bit. So we'll definitely have to talk about that. But Mamba, I'm not answering that question. I've never ridden a Segway in my life, and I don't plan to. So thanks, buddy.
So, there you go. Lotto, thanks for being here, man. Thanks for your input. Anything going on with you spectacular here in the future that you want to let everybody know about?
Yeah. First, I just wanted to say thank you again for having me on, and I know I'm always and I don't need to be invited, and I can just come in at every time since I'm already a part of the chat. But the biggest thing that I want to thank, not only like CST, Mamba, Mark, Owls, right, Mickey Mike, the amount of help that I've gotten from these guys, and then everybody else that I'm not mentioning that's Chelmo and everybody that's helped out Isaac, right? Don't try to make me laugh right now with that Paul Blart shit. but the amount of like help that I've had from them, I've become a better simmer, even though I don't create sim. I guess more of I create more of a game content, right? But in the end, how great they've been towards me and the community that we're building and the friendship that we're building, right? Like I was with my buddies, I was playing poker, I lost, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I came back over here to be with you guys. I don't know what the hell you guys are laughing about, but I'll watch the replay.
You probably have your soundboard muted. I did not for some reason, and Owls is trolling right now. So
oh, come on, Owls.
But guys, speaking of Lotto, please, again, I said it when we first started the podcast. Again, I need massive W's and claps in the chat for Lotto. 500,000 followers on Instagram, bro. That is no feat, man. That is a difficult thing to accomplish, man. 500,000 followers plus his however many thousands of subscribers he's got on TikTok. Lotto is an absolute legend. When he popped into my chat, when he first
royalty.
Oh yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that is royalty right there, bro. 100%. No, but when swear to God, when Lotto first joined my chat, first ever on my live stream time, I was like, "There's no way this is the Instagram Lotto." Right? And I just became friends with him. At first, this guy was a celebrity in my chat. I was like, this 300,000+ followers, bro. And then I was like, there's no way Fly. And then he created that amazing intro video that I stupidly lost when I brought my computer in and wiped my hard drive. It's just awesome content, man. So head over to Instagram, follow Fly with Lotto. Absolutely phenomenal content, man. 500,000, bro. That's no feat. No one here is gonna be able to say that number in a long, long time. So
no,
it's absolutely crazy. A huge shout out to you, bro.
Wait, I'm sorry.
I don't see this as anything, but I greatly appreciate it.
Did I just hear you say you had issues with your computer and you had to delete your hard drive? What? I thought you said you never had any issues with your
Issues that
computer.
were caused by me, not by the
No,
computer.
no.
They were
He
caused
didn't
by
save the
me.
video.
I fucked the sim up. Had a corrupted file that I could not find, so I had my hard drive completely wiped and Windows reinstalled.
Excuses.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right.
I feel
Hey,
like CST's the uncle at my family cookout that I don't talk to, bro. Genuinely.
I mean, listen, I gotta answer their questions. Okay, so I know I've had multiple
gotta
questions about my hair. My wife is a hairstylist. She's the one that fades me up, and then she's the one that gets me all the hair products. I swear. So I have no idea. I used to use Got to Be Glue. Yeah, you look great too, though. You look
Hey,
well. I
Captain
mean,
Jack.
you know, what did you say you were, Jack?
Did you say
68 now?
ooh? Great.
Nabil
Okay,
says Mike
man.
went on the wrong website. Just admit it. No, that's not at all, bro. No, I don't do that.
Believe that.
Andy Boyce, I also want to give a shout out to Andy Boyce. He is a moderator for
Yeah, he's been
XP72.
amazing.
I appreciate you jumping in and saying what's up, my man.
A
Turbo's
lot of
here,
great
Mamba,
questions,
Chum,
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
great-
yeah, it's been a phenomenal time. Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, I was just going to say aviation is the best. Says, I have a quick question about what is Wings of Hope. It's my first time hearing about that. Mark, can you give the website one more time, just real quick?
All right, Wings for Hope on YouTube as well as Discord. I think we put it in chat a couple of times. That'll get you to the link. We are coming out with a official website here soon with all of our team members with a quick bio of them all. But be on the lookout again. Look at channels such as not Owls, but CST Gaming, Mickey Mike, Captain Canada, Midnight Maverick. They will all have the links to Wings for Hope on there.
It's the saltiest face Owls could
Yeah.
make when you said, well, not Owls. Sorry
Freaking
about that.
Owls is like,
oh,
Really?
Man.
Yeah,
in due time, Owls. In due time, you'll be there.
Yeah, aviation
You
is
do have to be 18.
long and short of it is it's a week-long event to raise money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, flight simming, flight around the world, and it's going to be spectacular. We'll all have more details on it on all of our streams here, even Al's stream. Al's, buddy, so good to see you tonight. Know you're staying up late. Glad you survived all the wet from the hurricane that came up over the northeast there. And what you got coming up, buddy, and what's going on with you before we get out of here tonight?
Oh yeah, so I'm finally live again tomorrow. We'll be checking out the new Nairobi scenery a little bit late, flying the good old Bravo Aerospace 787. Then live again through the week. As you guys know, Microsoft Flight Simulator is the game. Owls FS is the name. If you didn't know, now you know.
Okay, now.
oh, by the way, I started that one.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, CST,
Lord else.
it's your turn, buddy. Such great content, very professional. Always enjoy getting to check you out during the daytimes there. When I've spent many an hour in the office with CST there, and I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for taking the time. You had a long flight and a long stream earlier, and thanks for spending it here with us tonight. What you got going on?
I'm not streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow is my day off. I usually use my Sunday day off to stir the pots and owls and Mickey's Mike's chat. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I stream. For those of you that don't know me, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturdays. So that's it. Any other days, I don't stream. If I do stream, it's off the cuff, different type of game, that type of stuff. So, but it's always Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturdays, and it's 99.9% of the time it's gonna be flight simulation. So,
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, thanks, buddy. It's good to have you here tonight. Appreciate everything you said and what all of you are doing for the. I'm just ignoring you two because I don't know what you're.
Sorry, Jack.
Look
I
at
apologize.
Lotto's eyes.
I
You'll
apologize,
see
man. Lotto's just trying to rizz us up with his zoomed-in camera right now.
All right.
All right, back to. Sorry, we're getting off
guys.
topic here.
Yeah. Anyway, Captain Jack's got normal streams on Wednesday evening every week. This Monday I'm off, but back the next 2 Mondays because I have a ham radio thing I do every third Monday night. But having a good time, just having a good time and learning so much from watching these guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream tonight. Thank you for 23 likes over here on the Captain Jack side, and for all that you guys have done on Mickey Mike's channel in the chat. chat and the likes and the viewership here for the virtual flight deck. So as has become our custom, I'm going to let Mike close it out. You guys take care. Remember, Captain Jack loves your show, and I'll see you on Wednesday night. So Mike, go ahead and take us out, buddy.
Well, unfortunately, guys, as I say on my stream, y'all know what time it is. It's time for us, unfortunately, to get on out of here, as I unfortunately have to go to work tonight. So I do appreciate you guys all tuning in with us tonight and sitting here in the virtual flight deck and having these conversations. Although we might not agree, we do all agree on one thing, that aviation is amazing and that we all have the same passions when it comes to flying and flight simulation. Coming up on my channel, guys, I'm not going to be live tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'm going to take the day off, spend some time with the wife, maybe fly with Owls on his stream, and go from there. Football is on. Go Saints. Who dat nation? Who dat they say was going to beat them Saints? Nah, not the Falcons, I'll tell you that. All right.
Go Hawks. Go Hawks.
All right, but yeah, guys, really do appreciate you guys all being here. I'm going to get this outro song going. A lot of positive content tonight, man. A lot of positivity from you guys in the chat tonight. It looks like this is something that you guys thoroughly enjoy. So I think Jack and I and CSD and Owls and all of us need to actually kind of sit down and tentatively get something set in stone when we're actually going to do this and make this a concrete thing. So we're always open to panelists and people that want to join in and have these conversations with us, whether you're a pilot, an ATC controller, Vatsim, virtual pilot, a content creator, whoever. If you are into flight simulation, please feel free to come over and say what's up and have a conversation with us, man. But again, I'm not going to be live tomorrow. I will be live again starting on Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time per the usual. I will see you guys all in the next one. Make sure you smash down the thumbs up button on both mine and Captain Jack's channels for this live stream. Head over to Lotto, follow him on Instagram, CST on YouTube, Owls on YouTube, Major Mark on YouTube, and Andrew over on Twitch. Make sure you guys go ahead and say what's up to them. But really do appreciate the panelists today, Mark and Andrew. Mark, looking forward to being at World Flight with you. Andrew, we'll be seeing you on the ground in Portland soon, man. And we will see you guys.
Seattle's much better.
Oh, yeah, Seattle, right?
Seattle's so much better.
But with that being said, guys, with Owls doing his thing, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. So stay safe. God bless each and every one of you. Peace and love. And we will see you guys all in the next one. From the virtual flight deck, y'all, we will see you.
Yeah. What are you doing, Owls?